Joe Rogan Podcast, check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day.
And we're up. Boys, when we did the first one together,
Yep.
was it like 5 years ago?
Yeah, I think it was 2017, right? Or 2018?
Yeah.
I was
Somewhere
2-0 in the
around that.
UFC. I was just coming off the Andre Soccer Mom fight where I broke my foot. I was 23.
Yeah, that was just after your broken foot. Right?
Yeah.
And now here you are, the fucking champ of the world.
We did it.
Living in a dream.
Like, it's crazy because that whole fight week, I always take a lot of naps fight week, especially because it was on the East Coast and we were trying to stay up late. And I would have crazy, vivid dreams, not necessarily about the fight, but just really vivid dreams. And so after the fight, it just felt like I was kind of in one of those dreams. I'm like, there's no way that went out, that played out perfect. There's no way that played out literally how I wanted it to play out. So for a while, I kept thinking, like, I'm going to wake up in my bed and still have to go out there and do that. But I haven't woke up from a nap yet, so we're still rolling.
Well, it makes you wonder what dreams really are. Yeah. It's so weird that we just accept that we close our eyes every night and scenarios take place that don't really take place. And they seem super vivid. And then weird things happen in them and then you wake up and you're like, oh, that wasn't real. But we just accept that there's many times where I've been in a lucid dream. Or many times I've been in a dream that felt so real.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on in our heads?
Probably a lot during Sober October for you, too, because I noticed when I quit smoking weed in camp, like when I get closer to the fight, my dreams are so fucking vivid.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary. It's like a snapshot of another dimension. I'm like, could that possibly be us in another dimension, witnessing our life play out some other way?
It could be that what you're doing is like peaking. You're like every night you like peak into some other dimension and then pop back up in the morning when you wake up. That's one of the theories about DMT. That it's some sort of a chemical gateway to the next dimension or the next realm of existence, and that when the lights go out and then your brain floods with that stuff, your consciousness uses that chemical as a gateway.
Yeah, we've never done DMT. I've told myself I want to do like DMT, ayahuasca, that stuff after fighting. Because right now I have a mindset to I want to be world champ, I want to be the greatest, I want to kill in the cage. But I feel like if I do something like that, maybe I switch that around. I want to wait.
Yeah, it might be a problem. You might become loving.
Yeah, that's literally the issue. I'm like, all right, I still have that fucking want to kill.
Yeah.
Not Sean Strickland want to kill, but like in the cage, like dominate.
Yeah, dominate.
When we were talking to Dana too, he said Cheeto has recently started doing mushrooms when he was training and stuff. I wonder if that has anything to do. Yeah, I wasn't Dana. I wonder if that has anything to do with his performances versus Sandhagen and stuff. Just looks stuck in the mud.
I think it's just Sandhagen.
That's what I think. Sandhagen was just way faster,
He's so diverse. He's got so much going on. I love watching that guy fight because, like, when he's going after folks, he's giving them so many looks. There's so much going on, and the patterns are non-existent. I mean, sure they exist, but I'm not picking them up. You think he's going to kick, he shoots. You think he's going to punch, he kicks. There's movement to the side. You think he's going to engage, and he doesn't.
His last 3 fights too, he's been really wrestling a lot. So you got to think like. Because I don't know. I could fight. I mean, there's a couple different people I could fight next. But, like, thinking about fighting Corey, it's like, okay, is he going to turn into that wrestler? Or is he going to want to strike? Or is he going to mix it up? I'm assuming, going into a fight with Corey, he's going to want to mix it up a bit. But, it's interesting.
He can do anything.
Yeah.
And the fact that he pulled that fight off with a completely torn tricep, first round, tears the tricep from the bone, needs surgery. And
I was excited for that fight, too.
Yeah, me too.
I stopped watching at one point. I think that was the same night, like Jake, Nate. So I was kind of flipping back and forth. But yeah, I was so excited for that fight. I thought it was going to be one of those bangers. But I mean, he did what he had to do to win. And just super. It wasn't super entertaining.
Yeah, I was really interested in seeing him fight Umar.
Yeah,
that was the interesting one.
Yeah,
and when
I forgot that was it.
Yeah, Umar Nurmagomedov is he's a problem.
I want him to start. I mean, he's got the name Nurmagomedov. I don't know how many fights he has in the UFC, how many wins he has. I've actually never really watched a fight, but I know he's got the name, and I know he's fucking super skilled. He trains with those guys. But that could be a huge fight someday. I want him to fucking start winning some fights. I was excited for him to potentially beat Corey, or for Corey to get a win over him.
Right.
just to build characters and build like big fights. 'Cause that's what I want. I want big fucking fights.
Well, you're gonna bring big fights. That's what's so exciting about having someone who's a champ who's such a big personality.
Yeah.
And there's so many eyes on the bantamweight division now. You know, the bantamweight division has always been like just a fucking murderer's row, from Henan Barrow to T.J. Dillashaw, like across the board. Dominic Cruz, you know, god damn. I mean, it's Cody Garbrandt. Like people like forget because of Cody's losses, but how good Cody is when he's on.
Yeah.
You know, Cody's just a guy who's been in a lot of wars. You know,
Seems like he's got just injury issues too, right?
a lot of injury issues,
Which sucks.
Yeah.
I remember after one of my fights, I got injured, and he said some people just aren't built for this, and that didn't age well for him. But I mean, hey, dude, I feel like I'm fragile sometimes too. If I didn't start working with Brandon Harris, like my strength and conditioning coach, and Dan Garner for nutrition, like I feel like I was getting injured all the fucking time.
Yeah,
It sucks. This sport's brutal.
it's the most brutal, and there's no way to prevent that.
No.
Really. You know, some people are incredible, like Jim Miller.
Yeah.
Jim Miller's never had surgery.
I feel like it's their genes. They're just
Must be.
They gotta be.
He's got some weird fucking woodsman gene.
Yeah.
Some blogger genes.
Right?
Like a Benson Henderson. It's crazy there's just so many different
Right.
paths to make someone
Yeah.
a champion. There's
Yeah.
not just there's this one way, you got to do it.
Yeah.
No, there's just so many ways.
Like Sean Strickland sparring all the time, and then I fucking literally only spar in camp. It's like just two opposite styles, both just won at similar
Yeah.
times. It's wild.
What Sean is doing is so unique because, you know, they put a mouthpiece on him. Well, you know, the UFC had some device. I think it was a mouthpiece. Did they use it with you where they try to figure out how many times you get hit in sparring? Well, they gave him this thing, and they found out that he spars more than all the other fighters they tested, and he gets hit less than all the other fighters they tested. He gets hit less than anybody, which is amazing. But
Yeah.
it's the timing, is his distance control. He's like so tuned in to the idea of hitting a person, not just hitting a bag, not just doing drills, but all of his moves, all of his movements when he's training are hitting people.
I wonder how many of his sparring partners are like, I don't even want to fucking hit him because he's just going to turn it up and it's going to be a full fight. Because there's guys you spar with and it's like, okay, if I hit this dude, we're going to fight. He's just going to, there's no.
Oh, yeah.
So I wonder how many of those guys know going into sparring, like, okay, if I even hit him, it's going to turn into something. I might as well just kind of play around for 5 minutes, get to the next guy.
I'm sure. But, I mean, you look at the guys, he's got talented guys he trains with, like Chris Curtis. Chris Curtis is talented.
Yeah.
And really, Chris Curtis is really talented in the pocket. You know, he's really good at, like, ripping the body. His boxing is excellent. He's got really good defense. So him and Sean together, I mean, that's, like, just two savages.
Yeah.
Just good boxers too. And Strickland,
Solid boxing.
Strickland just doesn't switch stances at all. Just orthodox the whole time. Man, it was just fucking sweet to watch.
And, dude, his leg checks, the checks from those kicks was so on point.
Yeah, it was impressive.
None of them snuck in. The best at that at all time, of all time, of sneaking kicks in is Pereira.
So scary. Yeah,
No,
it doesn't like make sense the way it doesn't. It's just like his shin moves, nothing else.
Yeah.
It's wild.
He keeps his shoulders completely square, and you do not see it coming. So he sacrifices, I mean, but he's got so much power. He can sacrifice some power, and it doesn't matter. He's just doing numbers on that calf.
Yeah.
And Izzy's leg was fucked after the first round of the second
Yep.
fight. You could tell.
I can't. That's crazy. They just added that to the co-main event for John Jones and Stipe because neither of them are champions, so they're gonna stack that fucking card and only have to pay out John Jones because he's the champion for pay-per-view.
Oh,
that's probably why they.
Look at you thinking like a
I know.
businessman now. The champ thinks like a businessman.
I've been thinking like a businessman.
Yeah, I hear you.
I feel like I've been champ for a long time. Just find the official. But yeah, no,
awesome.
it's that card's gonna be fucking sweet. Who else is on that card? I
a
know.
good question.
I
Pull it up,
think.
Jerry.
I think there's another banger on that card. But
Yeah, they always try to stack New York City.
Yeah.
That Madison Square Garden card is special. There's something special about that arena.
Yeah.
That arena gives you goosebumps just walking in. You're like, God damn.
That
So many
TD Garden was fucking crazy because my first like 9 fights in the UFC were all in Vegas, and then I fought in Abu Dhabi, and then we went to Boston. So that was the first time fighting somewhere other than Vegas in the United States.
Yeah, so those are the two big ones. And scroll down, we'll see the rest of it. Jessica Andrade, Mackenzie Dern, that's a good fight.
Okay, some decents, but not what I was
Jared
thinking.
Gordon, Mark Madsen, that's a good fight match. No, yeah, I thought there was more bangers.
Sometimes they have a nice prelim, nice main event
Yeah,
prelim.
what's the prelim? Go to the ESPN.
It's not announced yet on here.
Mackenzie
really?
Dern,
It would
Jiggly.
be right here. This just shows the fights. they have
Okay,
announced
so
for it.
that's what makes sense because this doesn't look like the actual order. Because here we're talking in September, and I believe that's the main, the co-main, and probably maybe the fight before that, but they might move all this shit around.
Yeah.
This is just the announced fights.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Well, that shit's
I don't
coming
think they
up.
would open up the pay-per-view with these matchups.
I guess so. It's not even October yet, so.
Right. I'm very interested to see how much Stipe's got left in the tank. You know, one of the things I really like is that he spent all this time off. So he hasn't been hit. No punishments, no wars, no KOs. He's been 2 solid years of recovery.
That's huge.
It's big.
Even if he wasn't training crazy, but his body was able to kind of recover, I feel like there's so much into that than just being training, and fucking busting yourself down.
Yeah. I mean, it was just never take anything away from DC, but I've often wondered if if some of that KO was him coming off of that fight with Francis. Because if you go watch that first round of that fight with Francis, Jesus Louises. I mean, Francis hit him with some meteors. He's so fucking... He just opened up the gas tank too much and ran dry. But he wasn't patient. He was just trying to take him out. He was just winging wild and burned off all his energy. But Stipe took some shots. He took some fucking shots.
Yeah, Stipe forced some of those wrestling scrambles, and that just zapped Francis. I think that Stipe-John Jones fight's going to be more competitive than people think.
Well, the real question is, what is it like when John fights a legit heavyweight that can do everything?
Yeah.
Right, because Stipe is not just like... Cyril Gane is a fantastic striker. I mean, he's one of the most beautiful strikers in the heavyweight division. I love watching that guy move. He does wild stuff. You ever see how he throws that front kick from a side stance? And he throws it like a twisting kick? He doesn't throw the front. He stands like southpaw, right? And he bobs around like this. And he's totally sideways. And he twists his foot out. Oh, they'll show it there. Let's see. He twists his foot out like a twisting kick. If they show the front kicks to the body, if he does any. He did a lot of them against Tai Tuivasa,
Yeah,
too.
I thought him versus John Jones was going to be a fucking crazy, war. Or at least kickboxing, but
John's just so much better at wrestling.
Yeah.
So much better grappler.
Ooh.
He's so fast, man.
D-Luke, that's crazy to think, because D-Luke looked good last fight, right?
Yeah,
The knee, he looked skinny, looked in shape.
But he just doesn't have the kicking acumen. He just It's not his style. If you could find the ones that's him throwing kicks with, he just does this weird thing where he stands sideways, and instead of the front kick going like this, like straight out, the front kick goes like this. So
I know. Okay, I see what you're saying.
It.
Yeah.
So his knee when he lands is almost like sideways. He did a lot. Oh, that was a Tuivasa fight. That was a crazy fight.
Ty's only like 32 or something, wasn't he?
Oh my God.
I thought that fucker was.
He's 85 in war years.
Right, especially with the
Ty's
booze.
been in some oh yeah, the booze and the war. He's just an animal, man.
The booze will get you.
Hopefully they'll show it.
Ooh, boom, boom. Oh.
Yeah,
but yeah,
he kept stabbing him with this front kick. Oh, this is the combination. Oh my God, he was good.
Yeah. Stabbing body.
He's just so unusual for a heavyweight, that kind of movement. There it is. See it?
Yeah.
So that was more like a front kick. That was definitely more like a front kick. But he'll show it totally sideways.
Just a little trick.
Almost like a crescent kick or something like that. Which people are starting to do now, too. I forget this dude's name, but one guy knocked a guy out in a MMA fight with an inside crescent kick. And I was always wondering. I was always wondering if someone's going to be able to pull that off.
Where you're standing like this and you're like... That.
Yeah, you do it like this way.
Yeah.
It's just so hard to pull off. You move it around. Anderson tried it a few times.
Yeah. I'll throw it next.
Here it is.
I'll throw it next fight.
Oh. Check this out.
That's nasty. Think? That looked fucking weird.
I shouted out that dude on Instagram when it happened. But what is his name, Jamie? Justin Berry. Yeah, show that one more time. Because from where he's standing, you kind of feel like you're safe.
Oh, that was right to the fucking chin of the chin.
Right, so you see how it's like his foot is in the center, right? So watch how he stands. He's kind of out of place, you would think, to kick you in the face.
Well, even to do the right defense, if he's throwing a right teep, you're going to use your right hand, so you're going to leave that exposed.
It's pretty wicked.
It's tricky for sure.
Yeah, but it's wicked. Look at how it worked. I mean, my God, that's crazy. And he did not see that coming.
I'll throw that up next fight.
Let's go.
I will.
Let's go. Yeah. So the next fight is not officially announced, but you believe it'll be Cheeto.
I want it to be Cheeto. I called that before the fight. Once they announced that, Cheeto was supposed to fight Henry on my card. So I was like, I want the winner of that. I want Cheeto versus Henry. I want the winner of that if I go out there and do what I do against Aljo. Henry pulled out. Pedro stepped up. And I was like, well, if Cheeto wins, it makes sense. So that's what I want.
Why has Piotr Jan been on the shelf?
He's just got announced Song Yadong.
Oh, when's that?
I think that's sooner than later, actually. But that's fucked, Peter. Because Song's Song's
an
is a
animal.
problem.
That was another great fight with. We went to see the Sanhagen Song Yadong fight at the Apex, which is incredible.
Yeah.
Have you gone to just the Apex just to watch a fight?
We watched the Contender Series there once. It was fucking cool.
I was thinking about flying out last weekend for Fazeev versus Gamrot. I was like, I
Where
want
was
to
that
see
at?
that one.
Oh,
live.
Vegas?
That was at the Apex, which it's the best place to see fights, man.
I hate the small cage. It makes I hate it.
Big difference, right?
It's so I'll probably never. Well, I guess if it's at the Apex, I'll never fight in a small cage again. It doesn't help my style. I like being able to move around as much as possible.
Here's why I'm confused. Why have a small cage when you own the arena?
Yeah.
Like they had a small cage back when we used to do the Pearl at the Palms because it was a smaller place to put the stage. So they go, we'll just make the cage. What is it, like 30% smaller? Or something?
44 or something like that.
40?
Almost. Yeah, it's damn near 50%. It's and it
crazy.
feels like it. It fucking feels like it. I remember when Corey fought Aljo in the small cage. And then I said something about not wanting to fight in a small cage, and I don't think Corey should either because of the style. And then Corey's like, "Oh, that's just your insecurity." I'm like, "Dude, you got fucking choked out in 14 seconds against Aljo."
Yeah, there it is.
44. Yeah,
I think they said the lighting wasn't set up. They didn't put the right lights in for the big cage when I
Hey,
asked
guess
someone.
what? You're the UFC.
it's your building.
Guess what? You guys
Right.
fucking for no reason decided to build your own arena.
I'm getting a fucking full-size octagon. I'm building a warehouse on my property right now. I'm getting a full-size octagon in there too.
Really?
Because I mean, at Tim's gym, at the MMA lab, pretty much any gym you go to, they all have smaller gyms or smaller cages in there, and just even sparring, it's like. It's just different. It's like playing if you're going to be in the NBA and you're playing a half court.
Yeah.
It's just different.
Well, I've been advocating for no cage for a long time.
I would be unbeatable.
And
No one could beat me.
There was this Russian promotion that we were just watching from back in the day with Igor Vovchanchin. And he was fighting some dude, and it was just this big round platform.
Jesus.
And it was just flat. And there was no, and you see everything.
That's sweet.
The fucking eyesight, there's not a bad eye line in the house because everybody's seeing the fight. There's no poles that are blocking the way. Sometimes
What was that called? What promotion was
I
that
don't
called?
know. This is in the 90s.
Mr. Powerman, 1996.
Mr.
Oh,
Power.
no way. What the fuck?
And
I thought it was,
Vovchanchin,
recent.
too.
Yeah, show it so you can see what it looked like, Jamie. It's pretty dope, and that's my dream. My dream is no cage because I think the cage is just too many elements. There's too much going on. So look at this. So there's just like a little barrier on the outside. This is only one of them that they did.
Oh. Yeah.
That's only
that'd be
one that
sweet.
they did. Another one that they did was like
sick
completely
style.
flat. Oh, Igor was a fucking animal, dude. That's when he was smaller. 5'8" heavyweight.
No way.
Yeah.
5'8" heavyweight?
5'8".
Jesus.
TKO'd Mark Kerr as a 5'8" heavyweight.
Jeez. Oh. Yeah, see, the cage is like,
Yeah.
that's
Isn't that way better? And look at how
Yeah.
much size you would have to move around. Obviously, you wouldn't have that bullshit floor. That floor looks like the
Yeah,
moment
slip
you
and slide.
sweat,
Yeah.
you're tearing an ACL. That floor looks terrible.
Yeah.
God, that floor sucks.
it does.
It sucks so bad. It's loose. It's everything. I hate when I go to a jiu-jitsu gym and they have like homemade mats. So they have like the loose stuff.
Yeah,
like
little saggy tip mat.
Like, do you guys hate grip? Like, do you guys hate like foot positioning and like slipping around on all that shit?
Yeah, no cage would change.
It'd change everything.
Game.
For a
Because a
guy
lot of
like you.
wrestlers, I feel like the only chance people I could take it down in the open, but I feel like it's gonna be a lot harder than to push me up against the cage. And I mean that's what Aljo's 100% goal was: push me up against the cage, take me down, work from there. But if there's no fucking cage,
Exactly.
what's your fucking game plan?
Also,
Get on a single
how
line?
much fewer clinches would there be?
Yeah,
It would be a huge factor. Because how many clinches take place in that weird danger zone when you're right up against the cage? Like, just grab
You
this
kinda-
motherfucker.
yeah.
You know, so it's just, there's so many moments where guys are like, and they're trying to reset and they go in for the clinch. That shit would not be available if there's no cage. If you have this big-ass basketball-sized circle in the middle of an arena, and that's where the guys are fighting, it would be incredible. It'd be incredible. It's really the way to do it.
yeah. Something about the cage makes it like
badass.
I don't know what it is. Yeah.
Pit bulls and glitter.
Yeah.
Steal the Affliction shirts.
Yeah.
To dragon fucking a pit bull in the ass.
Yeah.
With Japanese lettering.
The old school, real gangster shit.
I used to love those shirts.
Yeah, fighting in Japan would be fucking crazy.
Yeah, fighting in Japan. If you're like a world champion, that's like a mecca place, right? You know,
Yeah.
Like if you want to fight in Madison Square Garden, but fighting in Tokyo as a martial artist,
That would be crazy.
Saitama Super Arena, right?
Oh my God!
I wonder if
my
the
God.
UFC's never done that, right?
We did an arena in Japan. I commentated at it. It was in Tokyo a few years back. It's amazing. They're so knowledgeable, and they applaud when things happen. Like when someone passes the guard,
They get it.
applauding. Yeah,
I get it a little bit.
I wonder why Dana or any of them haven't looked into yellow cards, where
That's a
your purse
good
gets taken
question.
from you.
Well, the problem with that is it's so subjective, right? Like, let's look at this Valentina Shevchenko Alexa Grasso rematch, where one judge scores the final round, a pivotal fight round. It's like that's what makes the fight. One judge scores a 10-8. No one agrees with him. Literally, no one agrees with him. You're like, what the fuck?
Because if he didn't score a 10-8 and he just scored a 10-9,
wins. Then Valentina wins.
I went back and watched it just once, but I was kind of surfing on my phone. I thought Grasso won 3 out of the 5 rounds, but I also, like I said, I was surfing a little bit on my phone.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to casually watch a fight.
Yeah, you gotta fucking.
Yeah, I like watching fights with, like, Eddie Bravo taught me how to do this, because Eddie Bravo at one point in time was doing the not Max Kellerman. Who's that dude that Letterman that does it on Harold Letterman? He's doing it on HBO fights where in between round, I gave that round to Davis 10-8, and this is, and he would give like his explanation for what he thought. So he was basically like an independent scorekeeper. So Eddie would do that, and it was like we did it for a few UFCs where he would come in and he would talk about, like, we're going to Eddie Bravo with, you know, what he thinks happened score wise. And he would take a piece of paper and he would have 2 sides. Like one side would be this guy, one side would be that guy. And he would write on the lines like kicks, punches, takedowns, power, like power shots. He had, like, I forget all of his criteria. So as he's watching the fight, he's writing things. So it's not just going on memory. I think he got him more. And he also had access to whatever stats we had at the time. Although I don't think we had the kind of stats you have now, where you're getting constantly updated on, you know, significant strikes.
What is a significant strike?
That was a
It's
weird
tricky.
one in Izzy and Strickland, right?
Yeah.
Because they were showing that there was one point where Izzy had landed more significant strikes. I'm like, but to where? Like, what?
Yeah.
Is a significant strike is like a leg kick that gets checked. Are you calling that a significant strike? Like, what is, if a guy lifts his leg up and the leg, he did get kicked hard, but like, what is, here's Eddie Bravo, it's Randy Silva, or Tim Silva and Randy Couture.
Ground and pound action, and even though Tim Silva landed some good elbows from off his back, still another 10-9 round for Randy Couture.
I think that was a good thing to do. It was also it's also a good thing to put the fucking the actual judges on blast.
I agree.
Because like when DC and I are doing commentary, you can't do commentary and score a fight. You can kind of like have an idea, but you're trying to be entertaining. You're trying to like give life to what's happening, and you're just reacting like, oh, you want to scream and swear, and I'm doing my best to not, but you can't do. You should be quiet, just quiet and thinking about it, and you should also have access to replays.
Do you think you should be in like that close, or should you be on a monitor where you see different angles in a room like this?
I think
3
they
judges?
have monitors now.
Oh, that's
They
gotta
didn't
be.
used to have monitors, which was crazy.
Because the refs stand in there sometimes, or the pole. Well, I guess
Yeah.
not a pole if you're a judge, but the
I don't
ref.
think they listen though. Like I don't think they listen to commentary,
It's probably good.
which is probably good
Yeah.
because commentary could definitely influence it. Like if it's someone DC trains with, and
It's so crazy though. If you're a judge and you never felt a checked kick, because when I fought Pedro, I swear, like, I felt his foot land on my shin, and like I felt like I was fucking him up when he was kicking me. And then the judges obviously gave him the first round. He didn't punch me in the face once. I had more significant strikes, but he was landing leg kicks, but I was checking them. I feel like I fucked his feet up from checking kicks, and they gave him the round, which but it's just like they've probably never checked a kick or threw a kick in their life, so it doesn't.
Yeah.
But these guys are making this such an important decision.
Yeah, Chris Lieben, he's making his Nevada judging debut.
That'd be interesting.
I think he already did,
Yeah,
right?
and he's already been a referee. He's been a referee for quite a while now. He's doing
Did he make
which
his
is
debut
great.
last fight, or is he going to?
No, he
It was-
did.
Yeah, last weekend.
Oh, okay.
on the fight card.
Damn, that's probably a lot of pressure on him. Everyone's
Yeah.
looking at it like, well, how'd you score it? How'd you score it?
Yeah.
Man, there's some crazy stories about Lieben back in the day.
Oh, he's a wild man.
Just getting fucked up the night before fights.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being drunk at the
Casino?
the slots and stuff. Robert Falls would tell me, and then go out and win.
Oh, he could crack though.
Fuck yeah.
He could crack. Remember when he knocked out Vanderlei?
Oh, that was
Remember that
sweet.
fight?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Chris
Right.
Lieben had a hammer of a left hand. I mean, a hammer.
Especially when he was hurt.
Yeah. There's some guys that just fucking have just some kind of stupid fucking power.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's some Paul Daly dudes out there that just, just go,
He's fun
"Good-
to watch. He's
good
interesting because he's
Lord."
orthodox left-handed, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So that's kind
Right.
of he throws that fucking crazy left hand. That's fun to
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah, he's.
I hope Michael Venom Page comes to UFC. I know there's a lot of talks,
I believe they're gonna get that.
that would be
Yeah.
make that division so interesting.
Oh yeah, he's
so
a
fun.
handful. He's so difficult because like
That style.
And I always said that was going to be the next. That's going to be the next factor in MMA is these point karate guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like if one of these point karate guys really figures out everything else,
Mm-hmm.
and they become dedicated to become an actual MMA fighter. That blitz thing that they do,
Yeah.
it's so different. It's so hard to deal with.
Well, that's gonna be interesting. Stephen Thompson versus
Shavkat.
Shavkat. That's gonna be fun to watch.
That is going to be fun to watch. But Shavkat can grapple too.
Yeah.
Shavkat's a lot. That motherfucker could do everything.
I watched a documentary on him recently, like his come up from when he turned pro. Like the second he turned pro, he was fighting like good guys. First fight, second, third fight. He didn't have any easy fights.
Really.
Yeah, he was fighting fucking killers.
He's interesting, man.
I wonder how many people the UFC's already. I mean, I don't know if they can be in talks, but because Bellator's going away, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're going to merge with the PFL, allegedly, apparently. I read something from Shatri at ONE FC. Apparently, they offered them Bellator too, and they were at one point considering it, I guess. But Dana White was like, "What are you getting?"
I saw that.
Yeah, right.
It's like, what do you get? The thing is, he's right.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: there's no pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Like maybe they can develop a pay-per-view model, but you need stars,
Mm-hmm.
and the UFC has always had stars. The UFC is always going to have pay-per-views, and we can't wait to watch them.
Mm.
It's not like convincing someone, you know, like this fight, like Yuri Prohaska, Alex Pereira, John Jones, and Stipe. Take my money.
Well, even that December card that's coming together. Fucking Tony
Yeah.
Ferguson, Patty.
Woo!
Fucking, I think
Yeah.
that's Stephen Thompson, Rock Knott.
Leon Edwards,
Leon Colby.
and Colby Covington.
There's
Good.
Brandon Royval versus Pantoja.
Oh, that's right. That's on
Yeah.
that card too.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Man, Tony Ferg though, 6-fight losing streak.
I know.
crazy.
I feel like it's a lose-lose for Patty. Because even if he wins, it's like, Tony's fucking still dangerous, but he's not going to get the credit, you know?
Tony looked good in his last fight. He looked good. I mean, he didn't look like the Tony of
Who
old.
did he fight again?
Didn't he fight Bobby Green?
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Yep.
Bobby Green's a motherfucker.
Well, even Tony versus Michael Chandler. Well, Tony wasn't looking too bad till he ate that fucking heel. Or that
Go back to that
foot.
card, Jamie, please. Look at that. Vicente
Vincent Luque,
Luque.
Ian Gary.
Vicente Luque versus Ian Machado Gary's a crazy
That
fight.
is a sick
And they
fight.
trained
That's
at the
a
same
crazy
gym,
fight.
so I wonder how
Yep.
much they sparred.
Oh, they probably sparred a ton.
Yeah.
God, sparring and fighting, though, are so fucking different.
Yeah.
At least for me. I feel like, because when I spar, it's like, well, I crack people and I hurt them and it changes the fight. But in sparring, it's like, I'm not necessarily trying to fucking crack you. So it's like, sparring is going to play out way different than if it was a fight.
Right.
And it depends how you spar, though. But I feel like it's just such different sport.
For KO artists,
so
for
crazy.
sure.
yeah, for KO artists.
Yeah.
But for like volume guys,
Yeah, that's probably pretty true.
it's probably super similar.
Sparring, like that's where I get injured. Like for the most part, just sparring. It's not usually too bad. Like I kicked someone's fucking elbow last 6 weeks before my last fight, and my fucking left toe, I have a turf toe, and it still fucking hurts just from kicking an elbow hard as, because I'll throw teeps and body shots as hard as you can in sparring. Like, you're gonna be all right. So I whipped a fucking teep and landed it on an elbow, and I fucking swear my toe turned the other way. It didn't, but that shit still hurts to today.
You remember John Jones versus Chael Sonnen?
Yep.
He still has to tape his toes up.
I believe it.
Damn.
He has to tape his big toe to his little toe just to hold it in place while he fucks people up.
Yeah. So, that sounds fucking funny.
It's funny. So I got to tape my toes before I fuck you up. But he has to, otherwise it's just like it's so torn apart that I guess it just doesn't hold anymore.
Brutal.
That was the first fight you didn't wrap your ankles against Aljo, right?
We weren't allowed to in Boston, but yeah, I didn't wrap them. I didn't feel like I needed to either. Like, I felt my shit was good, but usually I like to get a little fucking.
And that probably gives him grip on his single legs and stuff.
Yeah, before the fight, you're like, hey, let's not even give him that little bit. Because wrestling, like, I'll grapple or wrestle with really fucking high-level wrestlers. We have so many fucking good guys we train with. Get in on a single leg, I'll limp leg out. But there's wrestlers are used to being able to, when someone tried to limp leg or use that shoe to kind of hold on. Mm-hmm. And fighting, they're just, unless you have your ankles wrapped. Who was the fight? I think it was Luque versus RDA. In between rounds, they took off his ankle wraps. Did that happen? I think that was right before we fought Aljo too. Took off the ankle wraps because he was using it as a little grip. Even that little tiny advantage.
It makes a difference.
Yeah,
it makes a difference. Like Eddie Bravo used to always say, like, you wear as much as you can on your legs. It'll make your guard more dangerous. Like in jiu-jitsu tournaments. Like, and in fighting, like Frank Mir used to try to wear these long-ass knee sleeves. Like, if you could wear long knee sleeves and shorts, a couple guys did. George Soteropoulos did that. He basically almost had pants on. Like, he had knee sleeves, and then above the knee sleeves, he had, like, tights where the shorts were. So there's so much friction, and that would aid you. And so if you've got that shit on your ankles, for sure that's going to aid a guy grabbing your ankle, even if it's just for that minor adjustment, especially.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I was worried about that fight. I was like, this motherfucker's. Usually, even against, like, Peter Yan, I was like, okay, it's fucking, I could beat this dude. But Aljo, I knew I could beat Aljo too, but I was like, this dude's fucking dangerous. Like, he's fucking, especially the tear he's been on, just beat Henry Cejudo. So the dude's fucking in his prime. Like, this motherfucker's dangerous.
And to choke Sandhagen out the way he did.
Oh, that was one of my, like, when you think about fights going good or bad, one of the thinking about it bad, especially when you've seen it happen. Like, he can do that. He did it recently.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I just don't want to get embarrassed and just be that guy. I just don't want. Corey's got to live with that forever.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
Yeah.
He's obviously, we all know how good Corey is, and, like, that probably wouldn't happen again, but it doesn't matter if it would or wouldn't happen again. It fucking happened.
I think sometimes when things like that happen, it just changes your approach to fighting and steals your mind, and I think that's what it did with him, and he just became way better. Yeah. The Corey Sandhagen that we think of now, like the guy who wheel-kicked Marlon Moraes, like, that's a different Corey.
Frankie Edgar knee.
That's
one of the nastiest.
He's an animal now. He's a fucking animal. He flows in there. But, like, that fight, like, and then it's crazy, like, Marlon Moraes, dude. At one point in time, Marlon Moraes was the motherfucker.
Gosh, for, like, this long, that's all you get sometimes.
He was so big for the division and fucking super jacked, and his striking was nasty. Remember when he knocked out Aljo with that switch kick?
Yeah.
Ooh, his left high kick off the switch was beautiful.
Aljo shot into his knee.
That's right.
Yeah, he shot into his knee. Ooh,
thought he was dead.
Find that, Jamie.
You know what's funny is I was actually at that fight, and I don't know where I was at in my career, but I think I was only one fight in maybe. But I was at that fight and watched that, and I hadn't really been to fights before. And I was just watching in the stands as, like, just a normal fucking, wasn't sitting in the UFC section. I was like, oh fuck. He was out for 5-10 minutes. It was scary.
Yeah, that's always the scary ones, right? When someone's running in and then the other guy catches him with a knee or a kick, like fucking Cyborg and Michael Venom Page.
Oh, that's gross.
Oh, that was the worst one ever.
That makes you question. That makes you question. Like, do I still want to do this?
Don't know what we're talking about. Michael Venom Page, who we were just talking about earlier, who's just so phenomenal, caught this guy Cyborg. Not Cyborg that you think of, like Chris Cyborg, but her husband. Who's also Cyborg, which must have been a fucking confusing household.
Yeah. God damn.
And he crushed his skull. So with that, like him moving in And that knee landing perfectly, it literally fractured the front of his skull, and they had to have it. Look, he's got a dent in his skull. Look how shattered it was.
That's insane. That looks like a video game type shit.
Insane. Now, also, what does that do to your brain?
Yeah, that's not good.
What's going on in there? And he was like, "I'll be back," and everybody's like, "Dude, hang on." I think that might be a wrap.
Yeah, especially if you have kids. Like I know once I had a baby, I'm like, you think a little bit different. It's like, okay.
Well, that's why you can't do ayahuasca.
Not yet.
You'll think of everybody as you.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, just chew Adderall and punch people.
I've never done. Well, I think I might have done Adderall once.
I've never done
but
it.
I'm like, I don't really need to.
I like it.
Yeah,
Here
exactly. Tim always tries to get me doing it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Liar.
Oh my God, he went right into that. That was a crazy one.
Yeah. And now he went on like a fucking 8-fight losing streak too, didn't he?
Yeah, you know what happened? Henry got him in that second round. Go to the first round. See if you can find Marlon Moraes versus Henry Cejudo round 1.
Yep.
Just find the fight and we'll watch So the first round, Marlon is fucking Henry's legs up.
Yeah.
I mean, he just looks incredible. He looks like a world champion Muay Thai fighter.
Yeah.
And then Henry made the adjustments. And
Marlon gassed the fuck out.
Yeah.
Oof.
But, dude, he looks so good. It's just Marlon couldn't keep up the pace. And I often wondered, how much of it had to do with Marlon cutting weight. Because he was so big.
Yeah.
That guy never looked like a 135-pounder. He always looked like a featherweight.
God, he's just so short, though, for the division, too.
For bantamweight?
I mean, I guess not short for the division, but he's only, Henry's like fucking, what, 5'3"?
Yeah.
Henry's so fun. I feel like Henry's obviously good as fuck, but I feel like he thinks he's a little bit better than he is. When he was trying to teach Habib how to fucking throw kicks, and Habib, remember that video?
Yeah, no, I've never seen that.
He was trying to teach Habib something, and he was like landing a kick with his foot on Habib's knee, and Habib's like, "What are you doing here?" It was just funny. But yeah, I remember watching this fight because I didn't know if I was gonna fight Henry or Aljo. I was kind of preparing for both. So I remember watching this fight back thinking, like, fuck, he made some good adjustments.
There was a good leg kick by Henry there, but Marlon caught him with some great counters. Like, look at that right there. Yeah. Just look at that counter left and then the right hand over the top, the left body kick, sharp. And then starting to really put it on Henry in these exchanges. Like, every one of these exchanges, he's the guy who's getting off the hardest shot. And that fucking switch kick he does is so pretty. That switch kick off the left leg, if you got a fast one, like an Edson Barbosa one, it's such a dangerous weapon. I never saw anybody throw it faster than Barbosa.
Yeah, that dude's fucking slick. He's at 45 now, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
It is weird. Yeah.
I don't like when people go down like that.
It's hard. It's like Frankie when he went down later in his career. BJ went down. It's just like
Cub Swanson tried to go 35 for one fight too.
Yeah, it just crushes you. And especially as you get older, I think it's even more punishing and more difficult to come back 24 hours after such a brutal weight cut and fight.
Those weight cuts are not fucking good for you.
Not long ago, remember the commissions would start at 24 hours before the event would start?
Yeah.
That was right before I got in the UFC. I'm so fucking glad they changed that and we could weigh in at 9 a.m. It's a game changer.
It really
is. Well, really what they should figure out how to do is not have weight cutting. Really, what the best thing to do would be to have more weight classes, and to have just eliminate that whole bullshit. It's crazy.
I wonder what Aljo would fight at then, because like we were talking about earlier, that motherfucker gets up to 170 pounds. Like,
I bet he'd fight at 165.
160. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I think he would fight at. I think that
would fight at 155.
Actual 165-pound guys.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, I'm not disparaging anybody doing it because it's a part of the sport, but it's sanctioned cheating.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You're not really 135 pounds. Like, Aljo's not 135 pounds.
I do find advantages in there because I know I'm doing it right. I know I'm doing it as scientific, as healthy as possible, and as disciplined as I possibly can, where I know other guys aren't. Like, I don't think Aljo did his weight cut better than I did, and the rehydration. I have the team around me to fucking make sure we're doing it perfect, to where I don't think a lot of fighters are. They're just doing it. I know how to make weight. I'm going to fucking get it off, and I'm going to fucking just.
How much of a relief is it for you when that's over, the camp's over, the fight's over, and then you just how long do you just eat whatever the fuck you want?
Well, yeah, in camp
we just had Terry Black's barbecue.
Yeah. No, I definitely, especially when I'm traveling, it's not like if we're traveling, I'll get a cheeseburger. I'll fucking not be super disciplined. But when I go back home, I try to still keep it clean. Like we'll still eat, have something good for dinner. But right now I'm dealing with this little back injury, and I'm like, I know if I eat, the worse I eat, the longer it's going to take to heal.
Right.
So I've been trying to, like this last week, I did like a 24-hour fast. I'm like, I don't need to eat. I'm not really working out. And then if I did eat, we were eating really clean. So, but after a fight, a couple weeks, I just don't give a fuck. But it's still not like Snickers and fucking Skittles and shit like that.
You see guys like Patty, who saying that like he's kind of really developed an eating disorder because it's like the cut is so hard that after it's all off, all he wants to do is eat whatever the fuck he wants and drink.
Yeah, even when you're full, it's like, but I don't have to make weight. So you mentally trick yourself, and there's definitely something there. Like you
got to crash diet 30 pounds in 8 weeks. You got to be so strict, and you got to train twice a day. So you're starving going to these sessions. So you for sure cause an eating disorder. 100%.
Yeah.
It only makes sense. I mean, because it's like how much, like wrestlers too, especially, like how much of your time is fixated on losing weight. It's like a big part. We had Kurt Angle on, which was an amazing podcast. Because did you listen to it?
Yeah.
When he was talking about how he weighed 199 pounds and he didn't want to cut weight to make 198, so he just wrestled heavyweight. He's like, I think I could beat him ananyway. And I was like, what an animal.
Yeah.
So he's like, but plus, I ate whatever I wanted. I trained however I wanted. I was always recovering. There's something to that. Because like there was a video of him beating this dude who was 270 pounds in a wrestling match.
Yeah.
What a stud.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
What a stud. I don't need to lose a pound. Not even a pound.
Yeah.
Most people are like, I can lose a pound.
Yeah,
how hard is it to lose a pound?
That last camp, about 3 weeks out, I had some meat that did not sit well with my stomach. I had diarrhea bad for like 10 days to the point where I was getting a little worried. I'm like, okay. Because I was looking stuff up, and it's like if you have diarrhea for like more than 2-3 days or whatever, it's like you probably got a parasite or some shit. For 10 days, every single night I would wake up 2 to 3 times. Right when I woke up in the morning, I have to fucking shit my brains out. It was, but my weight came down real fast. So that I was like, well, I guess that's a benefit, because I was like 155, 156, and then by the end of those 10 days, I was walking around like 152. I was like, well, that worked out, but that sucked. Remember that?
Fuck. I mean, it's crazy for that camp too, because usually we'd be working a lot on the wall, a lot of different stand-ups, a lot on our guard, developing the guard, no omoplatas and stuff instead of giving up your back. But we literally didn't get to grapple. Zero.
Yeah,
5 weeks out.
6 weeks out to the day from the fight. But yeah, it could have been beneficial because we were doing a lot of mitts. I was just hitting mitts, shadowboxing, boxing.
Focusing on not getting grabbed. And what did you have it in your head saying, if I get grabbed, I'm dead?
It's life. Well, I was going into that fight when I was 100% healthy 6 weeks. Before the fight got announced, I'm like, it's life or death if he grabs me. Not because I don't think I can grapple, but that's the mindset I want. Because that's really going to make it to where I'm not going to let. And if he does grab me, I'm going to do everything I'm fucking capable of. That's why I feel like I got out of that so fast. Like, the longer we're here, the better it is for him. But yeah, so we went into that fight, life or death if he grabs me. And then when I got that injury, I was like, it's just that times fucking 10. I cannot let this motherfucker touch me.
So what was the extent of
I had a muscle strain in between my ribs, and I couldn't even get into like a light clinch. I don't know. It fucking just, yeah, it hurt so bad. I haven't even tried to grapple since the fight yet, too, because I'm dealing with this little back injury right now. So, but I'm hoping by now it should be good. The muscle strains are fucked.
The ones in between the rib are so hard. And sometimes people tear the cartilage as well. Did you get an MRI?
I did get an MRI.
Yeah.
I didn't tear anything that I remember. I think it was just a muscle strain. But like, we gave it a couple weeks to say, all right, let's just see if it'll heal in a couple weeks, and then try to grapple again. Tried to grapple in just the littlest kind of together movement. Couldn't do it, which sucked, because that was the fight I had the most mental demons going in, because I was like, I'd like to be able to grapple. You know, I'd like to be able to fucking grapple going in, because even for all fight week, I told the whole team, like, I don't want to do anything to where I feel this, because I'm in my mind it's fixed. I'm good. I haven't heard it in a couple weeks. I convinced myself that I was 100% fine. And so all fight week, we didn't even clinch once. No zero exchanges.
That's like a Michael Jordan type athlete, though, just to have that kind of pressure going against this guy who's the best on the fucking planet, and just being in the moment and not worrying about that. I mean, fucking impressive.
Yeah, well, the result was amazing. That was probably one of the prettiest right hands I've ever seen in my life.
Floating back, too.
I mean, it's literally like Muhammad Ali, Sonny Liston. You know?
Yeah.
Steps back away. Bam!
That was crazy. Yeah, in the TD Garden, too. That was cool. Boston. That was wild because that was my first main event. And every time I fought, I always felt like it was a big deal on the card. Like the Sugar Show was there. But when we were in Boston, that arena was 99% Sugar, 1% Aljo, if that. Like the "fuck you Aljo" chants were louder than like them cheering me on. It was I felt bad at some point. I was like, oh god.
Isn't it crazy that it's all because of the way he won the title by disqualification, which is not his fault at all?
Yeah.
Not his fault at all. Other than that, everybody liked him.
It's crazy that
no one had any problem with him up until that fight. Like, everybody loved Aljo. Right. When he choked out Sandhagen, everybody loved Aljo. Like, Aljo was the fucking man. And then he gets fouled.
Yeah.
And legitimately got fouled. And his neck was fucked up before he went into that fight. He's had a fucked up neck. He has disc replacement in his neck. So he's got an artificial disc in his neck because of an injury that he had, and then Petr Yan hits him with that fucking knee to the head on the ground.
It's crazy how that knee changed so many people. Like my career, I ended up fighting Peter instead of Peter being champ, and just like it's crazy how that one mistake Peter made, and now he's on a fucking 3-fight losing streak, or 4 maybe.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Song Yadong fight is that's not a gimme.
It's gonna be a sick fucking fight
crack.
though.
He keeps getting better too. Song Yadong.
He's young, right? 24, 25.
He got robbed recently in California.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I already saw him talking about it.
Scary shit, dude, at a gas station.
God. If only those guys knew. I mean, I guess if you got a gun, like, no, it doesn't much you can do, but.
Not much you can do.
We saw this weekend that one comedian died.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. Is comedians in depression, is that a pretty common thing?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I didn't know this guy, but everybody at the club last night was so sad.
Yeah.
A lot of he was my friend David Lucas's opening act, and a lot of people knew him. It was a bummer. I did not know him, but he took his own life, apparently.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of the reasons why people want to do comedy is because they want want a moment in their life where it's fun. And if they can make other people laugh, so at least for that moment, it would be fun. Like, this guy was one of the greatest of all time, Richard Jeni. He took his own life. He shot himself in the bathtub. And then he didn't die. And they had to take him to the hospital.
No.
He died at the hospital, yeah. But he was one of the best comedians ever. And one just hated life. He was so depressed. Just the fact that everybody, all the comics worshipped him. Like, when he was in the room, everybody would come in and watch Jeni. Like, oh, my God, Jenny's on stage. Let's go watch Jeni. He was so good. He did this one club in Long Island called Eastside Comedy Club. And this guy, Peter, who was the host, we were all sitting around after the show. And Peter was depressed. And I said, why are you depressed? And he goes, he did 4 different hours. He goes, he did 2 different hours on Friday and 2 different hours on Saturday and just destroyed. And you would think a guy who's that good at the top of his game, just killing it. Like, that guy's on the top of the world. He's probably so happy. Everybody loves him. Meanwhile, guy kills himself. Yeah.
I was watching this Deion Sanders little documentary on YouTube, and he tried to kill himself after, like, winning the Super Bowl.
Whoa.
Yeah. Like, tried to drive his car off a cliff. Like,
oh, my God.
Yeah. That was great. I didn't really know much about Deion Sanders prime time, but that dude fucking played in the MLB and NFL at the same time in the same seasons. He was signing, like, one-off contracts to go play with the fucking teams. Then you'd fly in a helicopter to the football game. That was a fucking... I didn't realize how good of an athlete he was.
Imagine a guy like that taking up MMA.
Yeah.
Right? You know, because there's like calibers of athletes that I think just automatically go into the NFL or the NBA or the... You know, they go where the real money is.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they don't have that desire to fight. Some people just have this desire to fight.
Yeah.
And some guys they're just competitors. But if you can get one of those like super elite NFL running back guys, there's guys out there that are freaks.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder what Deion weighed. Like, he probably wasn't like he doesn't look huge. Yeah, he would have been but fighting, you just gotta there's something just different than competing in NFL. I mean, I don't know, there's some crazy motherfuckers that compete in the NFL, like Ray Lewis, those guys just want to fucking take your head off.
Yeah.
NFL, that was my first love, my first dream, my first, like, that's what I wanted until I realized I'm just a little fucker. That isn't happening. But I want to run out every Sunday with the boys and like.
Wow.
But damn it, maybe in another life.
It's weird with those people that get those highs. Like not many people experience the depression that comes after it.
I think
how to deal with it.
What goes up comes down. So even after the fights, I try not to like fucking get too excited because I know it's like. Just try to kind of live that around that zero, like right around where it's balanced.
Yeah, just stay calm.
Just kind of stay there, but I mean, yeah, no, it is hard because those highs, all fight week, everyone wants to fucking talk to you. You're the fucking man. And then you win, and then it's like the next week you're just kind of at home, just like sitting around. It's like, whoa, it is weird.
But then the plunges and stuff help you.
Yeah, having to fucking learning how to deal with that stuff and still working out. Having to work out. It's crazy because I haven't worked out really much since the last fight. Just trying to heal everything up, prepare for, kill next year.
You saying the plunges mentally? The plunges help you mentally?
I think so, for sure.
Cold plunge?
Yeah. I think mentally, I don't know what it is about it, but I think what it is just not wanting to do it and then fucking doing it and getting out. There's something about that. And then the physical benefits and all that shit. But the plunges definitely fucking help me mentally just stay fucking kind of grounded.
Yeah.
I mean, the happiness you get from training fucking hard and then doing the plunge, knowing it's good for you and how good it makes you feel. It's like, there's just something about it, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just wrings all the bullshit out of your brain.
Yeah.
Just all the dumb shit that's in there that, like, you would just let bounce around if you didn't work out or if you didn't cold plunge or something like that.
I feel like the morning routines too. Like I notice because right after the fights, my discipline because I'm just like all out 100% discipline. I'm gonna do what I need to do to perform that night. But right after the fight, the next week or two, I'm like, I'm gonna just fucking kind of just maybe lay in bed a little bit longer. But once you get back to my morning routine, where I got my red light, my PEMF machine, my cold plunge. All that stuff, and I just do that. I go in there for like 30 minutes in the morning, just fucking prepare for the day. You ever use those PEMF machines?
No, what is it?
Fucking pulse electric magnetic field, is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's like 2 mats. I mean, I saw it on Tony Robbins. He was waking it up one day, did a mat, and it covers, and it pulses all these like electrical through you. Boom, boom, boom. Gets the cells moving and stuff. Good for inflammation in the body.
I fucking love it.
You feel the difference?
I fucking love it. I really do. I like it.
Do you like the experience of just doing it, or do you like the benefits?
I like the way it feels too.
Just feels
and
cool?
I do feel it does feel kind of cool, but I feel like there's benefits. I feel like the cells, especially if you read the benefits and then you really kind of just tell yourself like, okay, this is what's happening.
Scotty from Mexico told us about it and told us how good
CPI.
it was.
Scotty Nelson?
Yeah. With inflammation stuff. So we looked into it. We got some pretty high-powered machines, but we were hanging out with Dana a couple weeks ago, and just both you guys just have such like this good high energy. It's like motivating to be around.
For sure.
It's fucking pretty badass.
Especially seeing you kill on stage, and then even before, like having that good energy, and you already did a show, and then you're in the green room, fucking just feel like it's you don't see many guys even younger than you or our age that have that energy. It's fucking it's powerful to be around. Like being around Dana too, just fucking
he's healthy.
Fires you up.
He's healthy.
Yeah.
One of the things I always tell comics is because a lot of comics they eat poorly, they don't exercise, they're lazy. I always tell them like you have more energy. Like your body is your vehicle for carrying you through life. It's not a vanity thing. Like it could be a vanity thing, but don't think about it that way. Think about it like you can actually soup up your race car. You want something that can do things that other ones can't. Like have the energy to do 2 shows easy.
Yeah,
there's no problem. I did 4 shows last night.
Jesus.
So 2 shows in the little room. So I did two of those improvised shows, the bottom of the barrel shows, and then I did 2 hours in the big room.
Damn, that's fucking sweet. I can see how just being in that green room like crave that every night, or at least a couple times a week. Just going in there, bullshitting with the guys, watching some comedy. That was so fun to be around.
Well, I was telling Sugar, I'm like, because how old are you now?
56.
56. We're like, bro, that's gonna be us when we're 56, healthy, revving up, ready to fucking go.
I'm a canary in the coal mine, kids.
I'm hoping when I'm 56, I'm fucking revving up like that.
Well, when you're 56, you won't be fighting.
Nope.
So when you're 56, you can take testosterone and peptides, and that's the big thing. The big thing is that people don't want to do that because they think it's cheating. Like, listen, you don't have much time. This life goes by really quick. I was your age, when I came to Hollywood, and it seemed like almost like yesterday.
Just fucking goes by.
All of a sudden, obviously it doesn't, because when you look back at those memories and who you used to be, it's interesting to compare yourself. But at the end of the day, it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Every day comes whether you wanted to or not. You can't hit pause. It doesn't exist. So it just goes and goes and goes. And if you fucking slip, and if you let it go, if you don't do what you should do,
that's what
you'll have a life of regret.
That's what I'm trying to remind myself too. I'm 28 right now. I got in the UFC when I was 22. So it's like it's already been that long. I basically have that time again until I'm probably going to retire and be done. I'm like, and it went by so fast.
Yeah.
And I need to make sure too right now, especially because you get so many opportunities to go do things, but like, to just keep reminding myself, what's the goal, what's the goal, what's the goal, just to fucking keep training. And for the next 6-7 years, just be as fucking good as I can be, because I'm going to be fucking 40 and going, God damn it.
Do you think you'll know when to stop? Do you think do you have like an idea in your head? Like, is it a number, or is it when your body just doesn't feel it anymore?
I would like to yeah, I mean, if all goes well, I think if I'm healthy, it's going to be hard. If I'm healthy, it will be hard to stop fighting. But
why would you stop if you're healthy?
That's a good point. I mean,
I would want you to stop if I see performance slipping.
Yeah.
There's something about when you watch fights as much as I watch fights, and you've seen certain guys for as long as I see, I kind of have like it's almost like I know what they do, so I see them, and I have like a mold that I can put them in.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I see guys moving different, and I see guys slowing down, and I see guys throwing 1-2 and then not reacting on the counter shot and not throwing the counter kicks. Is his legs gone? Is his knees fucked? Why is he moving? I start to see it. And they look kind of the same, like the same guy, but in my mind, in the mold, these things don't fit anymore. So I go, okay, there's been a change.
What about Izzy's last fight? Because I don't think he looked like that last fight. He looked like he was stuck in the mud.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's
We talked about that
hill.
last night. That might have been an issue. There could be multiple issues. It could be just a weird physical thing. Maybe he just woke up and he just didn't feel good, which does happen.
Yeah.
It would suck a fat dick if that happened on a world title fight against a guy who's been talking mad shit about you, calling you a slut for China.
Oh my God.
But it can happen to people where you're just flat.
Yeah. I'd be curious to see him come back. I know.
Also, before we say any of that, Sean Strickland looks so fucking good.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was Izzy being flat. It might be that he underestimated him.
Yeah.
Chris Curtis says, like, all the time people come in, good-ass kickboxers come in, and Sean Strickland just frustrates them, pressures them so much, doesn't let off the gas pedal, defends all their hard shots, and keeps pressuring them. He says he makes a lot of guys look bad like that.
Dude, I think he's also got that front kick to the body off the left leg that people aren't talking about. Like, that was so important. It was so important because he's standing like this straight up, and you don't know when it's coming, and every now and then he's stabbing you in the gut.
Yeah.
And he doesn't throw a lot of kicks, but he throws a very effective left front kick, and his fucking checks are on the money.
Yeah, you could tell Izzy, like, you could almost hear it even on the TV, like he'd land those stabbing kicks. And, like, fucking,
and that motherfucker spars like that so often that he's composed.
It's just another day.
It's another day. He doesn't get tired. In the 5th fucking round, like, I was watching his stomach in between rounds, flat. Just standing there, drinking water, flat. Like 50, 60 beats a minute. I'm like, this is crazy. This guy's calm and relaxed in the 5th fucking round of his first world title fight against one of the greatest of all time. A guy who just dominated and had that incredible speech.
Yeah.
You know, one time. I want you to feel this one time in your life.
That was probably the coolest moment for me ever when
crazy.
he knocked out Pereira.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
fucking
crazy. The arrows, come on.
God.
Greatest celebration.
Fired up.
Greatest celebration of all time.
That was good. That was fucking
You made me want to cry for him. Like,
did you see DC posted how many UFCs he headlined? And it was fucking insane within like 5-6 years.
Maybe that had a factor too. Maybe it's just an overload factor. Maybe he takes 6 months off, gets recharged.
Well, I was talking to UFC recently, and we just bullshit, and they're like, Izzy's constantly, same with Volkanovski, asking, let me fight. I asked him, I said, you think he's going to want to chill for a little bit? And they're like, fuck no. Fuck no. I could call him tomorrow and say, hey, you want to fight on MSG? And he'd say, yes, please.
Like, how much is his 5-round training camps changing after the 8th one?
Yeah. Do you still fucking do what you did in the first one?
They go hard over there at City Kickboxing. That is an amazing gym.
Yeah, Eugene seemed like a cool motherfucker.
The fucking man.
He's got to be up there with the greatest.
He's the fucking man.
Yeah.
And he's so calm and composed and rational.
Yeah.
The way he gives corner advice, the way he talked, even in the post-fight press conference when he talked about it. You know, it's like he's so composed. He's so good.
There's a cool video when I fought Peter, going into from the first round, going into the second round, for Tim saying, hey, when you're southpaw, feint low, throw that left hand over the top. In the first minute into that, you literally see it play by play of what I did, the crack Peter, boom. And then the second round, going into the third round, Tim was like, trust that knee up the middle, it's there. And that's what fucking cut Peter. So corner advice is fucking huge. And a lot of the times you watch fights and you hear corners like just talking to talk, because they feel like they have to say something. So they're just kind of just making shit up instead of like saying something that's fucking truly going to be important, not over talking, saying what you need to fucking say, and then let the corner breathe. I'm not trying to listen to a fucking, a bunch of shit. Tell me a couple things that I need to know, and then let me get my fucking heart rate down. That's what Tim does a really good job of.
Well, you guys have such an amazing relationship because you were both there at the very beginning. Like when the two of you came in 5 years ago, I'm like, what a cool thing you guys have going on. Because Tim is so knowledgeable and so focused, and also a great martial artist himself. So he's watching all these aspects of your training with another mind, like an objective mind that's not experiencing it outside of it, looking at all the aspects of what you need to do. And because you guys sync together so well, it's such a massive advantage, man.
I feel like it truly is. Yeah, when I see other coaches out there and fighters, I just feel like even if they've got a good relationship, it's like we hang out every single fucking day. We podcast together. We do everything together. We'll go grab lunch, hang out with our girls together, travel, and do everything together, train together. And it's just, I feel like there's like a chemistry there that a lot of fighter coaches don't have, because we're like best friends too. It's not like coach, but yeah, in the training room when we're hitting mitts, sparring days, it's like, we turn that on, and it's good. It
must be awesome for you, Tim, because you took a giant risk in your life doing this, dedicating yourself to one athlete, and other athletes too. But I mean, it's like a big thing, man. You did.
Yeah, I think I've just loved the sport and loved martial arts and all the different arts so much, and then getting to live with Robert Follis and seeing another guy who's so passionate about it, and
I miss that dude.
Get to live with him and saw it, looked up to him so much. I'm like, I feel like I'm literally living my dream job. So I feel lucky.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, you naturally were always, because when you were still fighting. You were like still trying to get into UFC. You were in Bellator. You went on Ultimate Fighter. But every time I had a fight coming up for like a couple weeks, you'd kind of switch into coach mode. Like without us, it just kind of naturally happened. It wasn't really planned. It was like, all right, now you're in the corner. Now you're the coach.
Such a cool situation.
It just happened. It just literally fucking happened. And he'd hold mitts for me, and it's fucking wild.
Yeah. Again though, it's like it doesn't matter how good of a coach you got. Like the athletes that can go in there, be in the moment, be calm, and make it happen. It's like that is so fucking rare. And I don't know where that came from with you, but I remember seeing you when you're 17 years old kickboxing in the cage, and you looked comfortable in there, like you were just having fun. And then I saw him when I was 18, I saw him fight this wrestler, still just having fun in there, and that's when I invited him down. And every single fight, like even you said against Aljo, like how were your nerves? Or Peter Yan in Abu Dhabi, who butchers people. He doesn't just beat people, he fucking cuts them and beats the fuck out of them, and you were just stone cold in the locker room.
It's crazy too. When we were coming up, it was $330 a month rent a piece. We had this shitty apartment. Just fucking those memories were so crazy. They're so vivid too, and it was so much fun. We just stayed in this shitty apartment. I had never lived with anybody other than my parents, so he had to like, hey dude, do your fucking dishes. Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah. He didn't know how to do laundry, and my mom did all that shit for me. So it was like, yeah, that's crazy.
It's been a crazy climb.
Yeah, it has been.
It's so hard in the beginning because you're not sure if it's going to work out.
It's weird. I was so fucking positive.
Really?
Even telling him when I was 18, 19 years old when I moved down, I said, I'm going to be I'm going to be in the UFC. I'm going to be a fucking superstar. And he would be like,
I would just think this kid has no fucking idea how good people are. Wait till he feels how good people are.
I was delusional for sure.
Do you think it's good to be delusional?
I do. I think a little bit of delusion is an important ingredient in the recipe of success, because I I might have been too delusional, but I also got very humbled a lot too. Like I would get humbled and I would be like, God, this is not what but then for whatever reason I'd come back to me and be like, no, I'm gonna be fucking world champ. I'm gonna be one of the biggest stars in the UFC. But I remember telling him that even like when I first moved down, and but yeah.
Well, I remember when I first met you, when we first started talking, I couldn't believe you didn't have a background in traditional martial arts.
Yeah.
Because you throw kicks so well. I was like, he looks like a karate guy. Like that was assuming you had maybe when you were a kid you did karate or taekwondo.
Basketball, football, baseball, soccer, every different sport all year round since I was probably 5, 6 years old. Just constantly being an athlete, doing athletic stuff. I feel like helped develop my. I do think too. Some people just have this ability to fight. I just understand fighting, like distance, feints. That stuff came so natural to me. Like it just when I first started fighting, I was feinting. I didn't know I was feinting. I was just fighting, and it just happened so fucking natural. I think some people just have that ability. Yeah,
well, I definitely think the background in athletic helps.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make a fighter.
No.
The fighter thing is some guys can do it and some guys can't do it, and and you can't predict it. And some guys can do it up until like level 8. Or level 9, like the Marlon Moraes guys.
Yeah.
They get real close. But for whatever reason, in those moments, those chaotic moments, they can't keep it together.
Fuck. Yeah. I mean, I still got to go out there and prove it. I think once you become champ, it's like, are you champ till you got to defend the belt. You got to defend the fucking belt.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. I really, really did truly want to fight in December. Like when I called out Cheeto in December. But then they talked to UFC and they kind of already had. They were trying to get Colby Leon together and they didn't. I asked them. They want me to main event my own show, which I think is fucking dope. I'm down with that. So yeah,
that's
definitely.
a good litmus test too. Let's see what those numbers are because Cheeto's pretty famous too. That's a big fight.
Yeah, I'm really hoping they fucking just say, let's fucking do it.
What do you think that would be for? Like when?
I'm ready. I mean.
It can't be December.
No.
So what is the next big card after that?
I'd say I think UFC 300's in April. I would say I mean that would be a sweet card to be on, but again they're not gonna.
Where are they doing that? Vegas? Kind of
probably. Yeah.
Should.
Yeah.
Just do it in
yeah.
Vegas.
So I'm gonna guess before UFC 300 because they're not gonna put. They'll probably do something like they're doing with John, like have a super card, but only have to pay out. One champion. So I'm assuming they'll probably do something like that.
It's funny that you think about it that way.
I've been thinking like that.
Until you said that, I never considered it. Oh, yeah, that other fight, neither one of those guys is a current world champion. Even though it's for the title, they don't get a piece of the pay-per-view.
I've been having like a business kind of mindset getting into fighting early on. Like thinking about numbers and brand deals and when I get to this position, what I'm going to ask for at the UFC. And because I go and sit down with Hunter and do our own negotiations and stuff, and it's fun. I enjoy that aspect of fighting. I enjoy the business side of it, to where a lot of fighters don't. They're like, here, I'll just pay someone to fucking do it for me. But I've always been excited about that. I've always wanted to be into the entrepreneur type stuff.
Well, that's great that you enjoy it, because for some fighters, it's like a labor.
Yeah.
And they don't do it. But if you're excited about it, that's awesome, because that's definitely a smart thing. And just the ability to promote, just promoting fights, like that is such a factor. There's so many guys that are really talented, but for whatever reason, the public's not captivated by them. And so they just never quite hit their potential in terms of like revenue.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's crazy now with all the social media guys fighting now and making bank, and it's their
those
first,
boxers.
second, third
Jake
fight.
Paul's
It's like,
the fucking
whoa,
man. Like what he's done
100%.
is pretty amazing.
Crazy.
So is that Dylan Danis fight off with Logan Paul?
I saw him tweet fucking him out piece or something, but then I seen someone confirm that he didn't pull out. But that motherfucker, he's been calling it since day one. He said there's no way that motherfucker's showing up. But he hasn't pulled out yet.
Well, if he doesn't show up, how is he making money?
That's what I was wondering.
So let's say man can't take a break off Twitter without people thinking I'm pulling out.
Well, his fucking tweet. He's a yeah.
Well, he's a great troll.
Yeah,
he is.
He's
I
good.
mean, he's doing it. I mean,
Well,
for a guy that's last time he fought was in Bellator. Like when? How long ago?
Yeah,
was that?
probably 4 or 5 years ago. But for Logan's girl to sue him, lawsuits, lawyers, that shit. There's nothing more fucking stressful and frustrating than that, going through that stuff. And Dylan probably doesn't have a lot of cheddar, so now he's getting sued. He has to hire a lawyer, and those lawyer bills add the fuck up. So I bet he's fucking stressing.
Look at this. He's sparring with Alex Pereira. That's very interesting.
Yeah, Alex being real nice to him.
Yeah, real nice. By the way, yeah, real nice. And you're only going to learn so much in a certain amount of time.
Right.
I mean, it's not like Dylan is an absolutely terrible striker.
Yeah.
But he's not a striker.
Yeah.
He's an elite grappler. His grappling is fucking amazing. I mean, he's really fucking good.
Yeah.
Man. On the ground, he's sensational. That kid has some fucking serious jiu-jitsu. But it's just he's not known for being a boxer.
No.
It's like the Ben Askren situation.
Yeah.
You know, Jake Paul offers you more money probably than he made his entire UFC career for a boxing match after you've had a hip replacement. You're like, fuck it, I'm in. So he comes in looking like a guy who delivers milk.
We were there.
Gut and
I was
tits.
there.
Oh, yeah.
That was crazy. That was crazy. Did that say trending in Texas, North Korea? Is that what that said on Twitter?
What's going on in North Korea?
Oh, I don't know. It sounds fun.
Oh, Jesus. Don't freak me out.
I'll see when I click it if anything interesting pops up.
Jesus. I'm so scared.
Yeah, I think the story of the day with there's a American soldier that
Oh,
crossed
that guy.
and he's now back in American custody. So that story is just
Yeah, some guy, they were going to arrest him. He said, fuck you, I'm going to North Korea. And he escaped from South Korea and went across the border.
Jesus.
And they gave him back. That's how annoying that dude is.
Still one of the craziest pods. It was having that girl from North Korea on, the one with big titties.
Yeonmi Park, yeah. The
Heavies. That pod fucking still just like that was hard to listen to.
She's so small, man.
Yeah.
She's because she's starved her whole life. Her body's so frail. Like when you shake her hand, it's almost like you're worried you're gonna break her hand. They're these tiny little hands. Like you shake her hand, it's like so gentle, just like a bunch of little sticks covered by skin.
And she's so smart. I was
Yeah,
like, God
brilliant.
damn.
Brilliant lady, and boy, does she have some like cautionary tales of what happens when you give the government control. Because the way their country worked is they said, we're going to take the land away from the farmers so that everyone will have food. We'll just grow the food for everyone. And then they're like, no, we're not. Once they took the land away, they're like, no, you got to eat what we tell you to. You got to do what we tell you to. Wear what we tell you to.
That's crazy. It's going on today.
Right
like
now.
It fucking makes no sense.
Yeah, that's the thing that people need to understand when they think about dictators. They're like, we don't have to worry about that. This is America. We're a democracy, right? But all over the world's run by dictators. Like all over the world, it's happening right now where people live in horrific conditions.
Do they think they're living good though?
They think in North Korea they don't know. Some people don't know because they have no control of the internet. Like the government controls everything. And the people really believe that the rest of the world is jealous of North Korea. And North Korea is perfect and amazing and
Hole in ones.
It's
and
like
shit.
a big religion.
yeah. Well, it's a cult. And
That's
when the father died, when Kim Jong-un died, they all had to mourn him. And if you didn't mourn him enough, you would get arrested and put you in jail. Like there was like a certain amount of time. So there's like performative mourning. So if you see like there's videos of performative mourning for Kim Jong-un's death. So there's all these people outside in public in North Korea just performatively crying and moaning and
Like a porno.
like you have to do it. Maybe porno is more honest. Because I would imagine if you're actually having sex. What's that?
To spark up on those J's.
Yeah. So I would imagine if you're actually, a person having sex, it probably feels really good. So you don't really have to fake it. You just have to ignore that there's a camera there.
Tim's used to girls having to fake it when he's having sex with them.
All right, bitch.
Sounds like your fucking gym.
God, how much is like social media these days affecting like marriage? I wonder what the percentage of like success rate in marriage is going to be in about 5 years.
That's a really good question because I was watching YouTube the other day and a clip popped up that I didn't watch, but it was Lex Friedman had some guy on, and the guy was explaining how Instagram is essentially an infidelity accelerating machine. Because if you think of like
Makes sense.
how many, I know guys who are married and their wife's page is all their wife sticking their titties out and sticking their butt out. It's literally the whole page. It's like these girls, and I'm not talking about girls who are like professional fitness influencers
Just
that are
moms.
just showing how good their body is. I'm just talking about just regular gals. Like if you're a professional fitness person and maybe you train people or something like that, yeah, of course you should show your body. That's what everybody wants.
Yeah.
You're literally advertising by, look, I did this to me, I can help you do this to you. But some of them are just ass and titties and like, do you like my feet? Like, it's like, and like they're married, right? So they're getting bombed on in the DMs like constantly. And if something goes wrong in the marriage, they have like probably so many options. Like pro athletes are DMing them, and who knows,
God, same with the guys, too.
100%.
How easily those relationships are just available.
When I was talking about that last night with the dating apps, like when someone in one of those bottom of the barrel shows, one of the questions was Hinge, which was a dating app. And I was like, how much are you going to be invested in trying to figure somebody out if you've got like 100 people that you swiped on that are also ready to go? And you could just like leave this date sucks. Like text this person like, hey, something just came up. I just got out of a meeting. Do you want to go have a late drink? And then you go meet that person. Like, all right, we're trying again. And then if you're really that person, that's like, it's got to be addictive. Like everything else on social media is addictive.
Yeah.
So and addicted to just meeting people and just swiping, and they all look hot. Like let's fucking go.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
I mean, marriage is such a tough, crazy thing. Do you know a lot of people that have successful marriages?
I know people that have successful marriages. I wouldn't say I know a lot. I think, look, what is the divorce rate? We
like
know
40-something%?
I think it's higher. I think the national divorce rate is close to 50%. And Chris Rock always had a great bit about that. He goes, and that's just the people that had the courage to get out. How many cowards stay and suffer?
Especially when they have kids and they're just staying together, being miserable with kids, and they don't even know those kids are sitting there looking at how they interact with each other. It's just affecting them.
They just feel the interactions if it's not genuine.
Yeah,
just there for the kids. Like, fuck.
Yeah, if they feel like a bitterness between them. And then they'll identify future relationships like that, too. That's like a scary thing about people who grow up in like abusive households. Like if the mother and father are abusive to each other and verbally abusive to each other, then they'll probably pattern that as they get older. And they just think you're supposed to like fight and then make up, fight and then make up. And then people get caught up in that cycle of fighting and make up because it feels good to make up. And the makeup sex is amazing. But the fighting part is just like people get brutal. They insult each other and break each other down.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, we're so lucky because I've been with my girl almost 13 years now, and you've been with Danny for almost 10.
Yeah.
But I bet being like the star you are now, trying to find a chick the guys that are stars, trying to find actual love.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
it's possible. I think it's probably easier if you're a guy to find a good girl than you're for a girl to find a good guy.
Well, yeah.
I would think so. Because, I mean, to be sexist and to talk in sexist terms, women think of a man as a provider, right? So you want a guy who can keep it together, right? You want a guy who you're going to have children. You're going to want a guy who's going to be able to keep it together financially, be stable, be disciplined, do all the things he's going to do, not fall apart, not become a drug addict, not fucking do something really stupid and lose his job, and not like just give up because of that, and then everybody gets on welfare. Like you have to like count on someone unless you want to work yourself. So there's this like evolutionary aspect, and I think it's hard. Like if you're a guy, what do you want out of a woman? I want her to be nice.
Fat
I want her
ass.
to be interesting, fat ass, all the physical things. But you want her to be a good person, a nice person. I don't need him to be successful.
Yeah.
Like, no guy cares. Like, I do not care at all. Like, I would not care at all. Like, if I was a single guy and I met a gal and she was like a bartender, I did wouldn't like, oh, just a bartender?
Yeah.
Well,
That's a good point.
You don't have any businesses? Like, no one cares. No one cares. Like, are you nice? Are you nice? Are you cool? You fun to be with? Do I enjoy spending time with you? Then who cares? So, but a woman like Taylor Swift is not going to marry a bartender.
Right?
It's fucking so true.
Bitch, get the fuck out of here. I sell out stadiums.
Yeah.
What do? You make drinks for
Well, that's
people?
why she's talking with that Travis Kelce guy. Though, fucking got to do something big time.
They're going to share vaccines.
That's a good point. Never thought about that.
Yeah, who knows? I think it's a tougher road for a woman to find a good man. That's what I think.
Yeah.
If I'm guessing. because I don't know that many good men. I know a lot of cool women.
Yeah.
In terms of like the overall number of men that I know, like how many of them are going for it?
Yeah.
I'm lucky. I know a lot of cool people.
Yeah.
And I meet a lot of cool people. But just like general folks, like how many of these general folks are keeping it together?
Just lazy fucks.
A lot of lazy fucks.
There are a lot of. I feel like comedians. Is there a lot of lazy comedians that are kind of naturally funny that could be way better that just kind of just get by with the little funniness?
There's that. There's some guys that are talented and they don't apply themselves enough.
Because Hans, we were talking to Hans Kim, and he was like, Kill Tony makes him kind of have to fucking a minute every week to where he can't be lazy. Yeah. But he said if he didn't, he would probably be lazy.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy that you just know that, well, I'd probably be lazy, that mindset.
It's weird.
You
people
gotta work out with Hans and you see what we're talking about.
Hans is fucking...
He goes to the gym and it's like, you lazy bitch, what are you doing? Go to work.
Hans is so funny.
People don't like correlate the two, like creativity and health. I don't think they have anything to do with each other.
Yeah, it's that mind-body thing. Like people who concentrate only on the mind think the body's frivolous and they don't care what they look like. And then people who concentrate only on the body, they're not thinking about their mind. But they're interconnected. It's your being. Your being is your body and your mind. They're all contained in the same vessel. And if you can keep that vessel healthy and happy and keep it like on track, you'll have a better life.
Is there a certain time when you have your like best ideas and stuff?
At night. Almost always at night. But sometimes in the morning. Sometimes I'll spark a fucking duba right when I wake up and start writing. Like, it just depends on how I feel. Like, I do allow, as long as I get my work done, what I need to get done, like exercise and writing and all that stuff, I'll allow it sometimes to happen at different times. So sometimes I wake up in the morning and I just wake up and I'm like, I gotta write right now. I got some ideas. And then I'll, get high and sit in front of the computer for a couple hours. And sometimes it's coming after the club. Like some of the best shit I've ever written is like I went off stage, I got home, and I just sat down and started going over ideas and then come up with things.
God, that's so sweet that that's your club. When we were watching last night on the balcony looking down at you performing in your club, I was like, that's fucking so sweet.
Cool.
That's so sweet. That's like a dream come true. Like,
it's not even a dream I ever had.
Really, it just happened?
I had to do it once we got here. So I needed to get the fuck out of L.A. The George Floyd riots were happening. They're defunding the police. They're telling you can't do stand-up. You can't go to restaurants. You can't do anything. And I was starting to get really sketched out. And I've always at the time, my youngest kids were 10 and 12, which I felt like is the age that you can still move them and they'll be okay. When you start moving kids at 15 and 16, they really resent it because they're like socially connected to their friends. They're going to the high school. If they like their high school and they like their friends, it sucks. So it was perfect. They met friends early. It was like the people here are so friendly. And it was like immediate. I was like, I love it here. I love it here. I feel so home. But there was no real comedy club. There's this place, the Vulcan, but the sound sucked, and it was like there was always issues. And so we used the Vulcan as a place to practice, and it was good because then we would go on the road on the weekends. We were doing arenas and all these comedy shows. But right away, I was like, I need to open up a club. And Ron White told me to buy the building that was owned by the Cult.
We're gonna watch that after.
I love cult shows.
Cult shows are good, motivating.
I almost owned that building. I was under contract for that building. If it wasn't for their issues.
I feel like the one you got's fucking
way better.
Perfect. Because was it on the same street or was it?
No. That's the one that I had is on this big property. It's way off the beaten path.
Oh, this is perfect. Then, huh?
Oh yeah, this is perfect because I'm getting all the people that are in the hotels downtown. They could just walk there. All the foot traffic, and on 6th Street in front of my club at Friday and Saturday. They shut the whole street down.
Bro, Tuesday night last night, I was like, what the fuck? Feels like a weekend. It was crazy. The line out the door was insane.
Always.
That's so fucking sweet.
And we've revitalized that area.
That's sweet.
And so other stuff is booming there too. And there's a big development company that's they bought up a giant chunk of 6th Street and they have all these amazing plans. So it's really exciting.
Was it stressful building that place out?
mean, what's stressful is being poor.
I was gonna say you guys.
Stressful is coal mining to feed your kids, and you're worried you're getting black lung.
Yeah, right.
Like what I had to do was complicated, but I wouldn't say it was stressful because it didn't hurt me financially. Like I knew that it's very rare. It's like sometimes things happen in life where you go, God, if I don't do this, who's gonna? I get it. Who's gonna do it other than me? Like it seems like the world wants me to do this.
That's why I knocked out Aljo.
So it's just, I felt like, look, this is the thing to do. I opened up a badass comedy club. At the same time, all my friends that worked for the Comedy Store were unemployed because the Comedy Store had shut down. And so they weren't getting any money. And I was like, how about I just hire you guys, move y'all out here, and let's build a club together.
That's
what we did.
Fucking insane.
And we did it the right way.
Yeah. It was so fun hanging up there, like David Lucas, William, Hans, Tony, just like feeling like a part of the group for a little bit was fucking really fun. That was a good time.
It's a real fun. It's like if you could hang with your boys and have like the best night of your life, a point where like you're thinking about it months later. We do that every night.
Belly laughing.
Every night. And it's all professional comedians. So we're all constantly talking shit and laughing. But it's almost like podcasts, too, because the conversations will segue into interesting things. And someone will bring something up, and they'll be all talking about it. We're playing music. And
heading down to Mitzi's after was fun. The bar. Like, that was really fun, too. Not usually go to
just
bar.
makes it that much more sweet. There's just no phones, too.
Yeah.
Just something
that's
about
cool.
it.
I like that. Being able to take the phones away and lock those things up, that's fucking sweet.
Yeah, people don't like it, but, man, it makes you pay attention, and it makes the experience way better.
Yeah. And if you accidentally say a little something, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
It just makes it better for everybody. That's what they have to understand. Like, people are reluctant to do it, but listen, it's better for the art form. It's better for you. Just go and have a good time.
Yeah. I like how they lock them for real. Like, I went to, like, we were up on the balcony, I went to, like, just grab mine, and I was like, oh, shit, I think locked in that motherfucker, which is cool, though. I like that.
Yeah, it's just, we did everything that we could to make it the best experience possible for the comedians, the best for the audience. We just did it right. Took a long time.
Can a person that's like not really naturally that funny become a great comedian?
It's a good question. I don't think it's impossible. I think if you're smart and you can figure it out, I think people can figure things out. It's like, I think there's a certain mindset that you would have to acquire. And I think some people, it's very difficult for them to change the way they look at things and change the way they think other people see them. Because people have a delusional idea of how other people see you. And I think in comedy sometimes you have to think of it in a different way. You have to think of it as an audience as much as you have to think of it as yourself.
Such a sweet skill. I've tried to like kind of write shit down. And then I look at it a couple weeks later, I'm like, what the fuck? I thought that was funny. Even a little bit? Like, it wasn't. Yeah.
Well, it's like anything else, man. Like, you got to do it around a bunch of people who do it. In our case, you literally have to practice it in front of audiences. Like, some of the stuff you saw last night was brand new. Like, one of the bits that I did last night I had just done for the first time during the first show. And then there's all the stuff that we do, like in that little room at the bottom of the barrel, that's completely improvised. And so that's how you develop an act, by like just you have to practice it live in front of people. So I have these ideas.
Sweet. How many times do you do something in the barrel room, or when you're doing the barrel show that's fucking good, but you can't write it down? Or is someone recording just in case?
I record everything.
Okay, just in case you're like, fuck, what was that?
I always record them, and then I listen to them, and every now and then there's like a little thing that you forgot. You're like, oh, shit.
That's funny. Or can be.
Yeah, it can be. They're like little seeds, you know, and like, I'm going to water this bitch. Water this bitch.
A couple of them yesterday. Obviously won't say anything right now, but that shit had me fucking laughing. So
I wonder what like Tom Segura and Christina P, like what their home life's like, because they're such high level comedians. I bet that's pretty fucking
shit. They're talking shit all day.
And they got kids too, right?
Their kids talk shit.
Oh yeah,
I bet.
Yeah, his one kid calls him Tom. He won't call him Dad, and he goes, "Hey, I'm your fucking dad. Call me Dad." He's like, "All right, Tom."
That's funny.
Where
do they
Settle down,
live?
Tom. They live out here.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he lives here. They both live here too.
Yeah, their podcast's fucking funny.
Yeah, there's like 15 world-class comedians that moved to Austin over the last 3 years.
So if I had to move anywhere, it would definitely be Austin.
Legendary.
I couldn't live around this though. I would get too distracted.
What, around 6th Street, you mean?
Just around town. Like, I live in Waddell. I just got a farm. I got 15 chickens and fucking I live like out.
Nice.
I have to because I get too. I know myself.
Oh, there's
I get
plenty of
sucked
that
in
out
and
here.
fucking.
That's how I lived when I lived in California. I lived about 35 minutes outside of L.A.
Do you have chickens now?
Yes, I do.
I'm recently a chicken guy. They've been starting to lay eggs, and it's so fucking fun grabbing those eggs every morning.
Yeah.
It's something about
It's so
grabbing
good
the
for you,
egg
too.
and cracking it and fucking.
So nutritious,
Oh,
too.
yeah, we've been getting a bunch, giving them some.
Yeah,
It's
ours
fun.
haven't started laying eggs yet. We got fresh chickens. They're only now a couple months old. So they're getting their feathers
Nice.
and getting all the
Yeah.
fluff is starting to go away. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
They're like
cool.
rich and colorful, like way different.
Yeah.
Oh, and the eggs.
Something about just watching them walk around outside. It's fucking
Yeah.
something about it.
Yo, you ever see what they do to mice?
I haven't. I've heard they're fucking savages. Though.
You never seen a video of a
I
chicken
don't know if I
fucking up a
want
mouse?
to.
This is how I found out about it. We were we had this fence in California that was this like wrought iron fence in our backyard, and my wife said, "You know what? The fence kind of fucks up our view. Why don't we get a glass fence?" So we got a glass fence, and then hawks couldn't figure out there was a glass fence, and they would bam, and there was like 3 of them that wound up dead. They got KO'd, and one of them got KO'd. But he was like still lying in the backyard, and so my wife and my kids rescued him, and so they put him in a box. Like, watch this cat with this mouse. So this cat's playing around with this mouse.
Oh no.
Watch this chicken.
Oh
Come here,
god. No way.
Yeah, yeah. Chicken's way more savage than that cat.
Oh,
Look
it
at
just.
him.
Just shit. That's
fucking
not
that
what I was.
mouse up.
It's Oh.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here, cat. This is mine. The cat's like, you got it. Leave me alone.
Chickens are
Fucking
funny, bro.
Vicious. So what happened was, this hawk got fucked up, and they put him in like this big box and put him in the bottom of the box, and then my wife went to the pet store and they got these, I think they call them pinkies. They're like little baby mice that they feed to snakes and shit like that. They got a bunch of them, and so they fed a bunch of them to this hawk, and he ate them all except for one. And there was one left, and my daughter's like, they were only like 4 at the time. Like, we want to raise it. I go, you can't. I go, it doesn't have its mother. It's gonna die. I'm like, let's just feed it to the chickens. No. I go, that doesn't make any sense. You just fed it to the hawk, but now you don't want to feed it to the chickens. Like, the chickens are our friends. They give us eggs. The hawk is just some flying monster who kills all the rats. And so eventually they said, okay. I go, do you guys want to come with me? Like, no. So I went out in the chicken coop by myself, and I put that thing down, and they dove on it like piranhas. Just, and one got it in her beak, and she's running around the chicken coop, and all of them are chasing after her and biting at her face and trying to steal the mouse from her. I've never seen anything like it. Because every other time they eat, like if we serve them, chicken feed, and we serve them like dried worms and all these different things, they peck at it, but they don't steal from each other, and they're not frantic. But they knew that fresh meat, the fresh meat of mice, for whatever reason, that is like their favorite thing. They went crazy, man. It was wild to see.
What a perfect animal because they've been around for millions and millions of years, right? So they just lay an egg, lay food every day. It's like a perfect fucking animal God put down there for us.
Yeah, and if you're a person that has a good relationship with that chicken, like all these people that are vegan, that's like, I would never eat eggs. Like, listen, it's not going to be a chicken. It can't be a chicken. You don't have a rooster, it's not going to be a chicken. It's just food. And not only it's that, it's food from your pets. So you have a good relationship with them, give them corn and feed.
Organic,
and
quality food.
Let them range around your yard, eat bugs and all that stuff, and you'll get this unbelievably nutritious food for free. And you get animal protein, so you don't have to be a fucking sick person. You don't have to be like protein, deficient and feeling terrible and having to supplement everything with fucking soy and this and that, and like you can eat eggs.
Yeah.
How many times a day are you eating meat?
Every day.
How many times a day?
Every meal, and I'm eating probably twice a day. Yeah, I don't eat more than twice a day. I don't usually eat lunch. Usually lunch is my breakfast. So it's like the first meal I have of the day is around noon.
Even days you train hard?
Yeah. I don't mind training on an empty stomach, but I will have a piece of fruit or something like that if I know I'm really going to get after it. A lot of electrolytes too, but the thing for me is like I don't tell. Everybody's different. I know people that are fine with a vegetarian diet. It's not me though. When I used to try to lose weight when I was competing, I was trying to make 140 pounds, and I only made it 1 year, my senior year in high school, and I couldn't do it again. It was just too hard. So I tried vegetarianism for 6 months, and I just felt listless. I'm 100% for sure wasn't doing it well. I wasn't even taking supplements back then. But I just didn't want to go up to the next weight class. And then when I made the decision to go up to the next weight class, I started eating meat. And it was like, whoop, like immediately. Because I was 17. So my body was like, hey, bitch, we're trying to get stronger.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing giving us corn? You know? And then from then on, I always say, like, God, it's like when I eat meat, I feel better. And I know that I didn't do that well. I know I haven't tried it since. But when I went on a full carnivore diet like a few years ago for a month where I ate nothing but meat for a month, I was like, God, this is like the best I've ever felt. So now I've been doing that for 3 solid months.
Damn.
Three and a half almost. Three and a half solid months of nothing but meat. And I feel great.
I don't know how you don't eat those cheeseburgers from that fucking God, I keep forgetting what's it called.
Not a damn chance burger. Yeah.
That thing still has me thinking about it like a fucking ex-girlfriend. God, that tweaker, yum.
Well, that's Philip. Philip Franklin Lee is the man. Michelin star chef who decided to make the perfect cheeseburger. So he uses Wagyu patties. So it's like choice, top of the line beef. He knows exactly how to cook them. He uses American singles. You know, he's like, that's the perfect cheese for these burgers. You want like this kind of melty cheese product, not like an actual piece of cheese, because it's not even really cheese. Oh, everything's perfect. Everything. Look at that thing.
It's so soft and just perfect. It's
Yeah.
like there's not too much going on. It was just wrapped up nicely, warm.
So we are doing a collaboration. There's a company that I work with called Señor Lechuga that makes sensational small batch hot sauces. It's so good. And Señor Lechuga we're now putting those sauces in a not a damn chance burger. So it's a triple patty because I'm a glutton.
Yep.
And it's got bacon and it's got pickles and onions and tomatoes.
Triple
lettuce.
patty.
Yeah.
Smashed.
Yeah, let's go.
That's fun. That's
Let's
fun.
fucking go. Yeah.
Do you get your blood work like looked at and
Yes.
stuff?
Yeah, all the time.
And it's always looking healthy from the carnivore.
Yeah, it's great.
Sweet.
I wonder how many people I wonder if it's just genetics.
I think it is.
Just genetics. You got to figure it out what's best for you.
Yeah, I think the way your ancestors evolved has a significant effect.
Make a lot of sense.
Yeah. I think it's just natural.
Like if you were from the north or you were born and raised in Mexico or
But I think also meat is the most nutrient-dense food in the world. I mean, especially game meat. It's so filled with
Gay meat?
Game.
Oh.
Gay meat.
Yeah, gay
a lot
meat.
of eating gays.
Gay
They're
beer meat.
slower and they tend to give up quicker. Some of them are passive, so I eat them.
that'd be a good gay.
Game meat. Because I hunt, so I get all this elk meat and deer meat, and I think there's a significant factor in that too, because it just is it's so fucking good for you. It just feels good for you when you're eating it.
I feel like it makes sense. Better than a fat fucking cow that's just roaming around.
Dude,
Yeah.
the color of a fresh fucking elk tenderloin is crazy compared to just a dying fat cow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I cut elk steaks and I vacuum seal them, so what I do is I'll get like the back straps and I'll set up a cutting board and I slice them. When I'm slicing into it, man, it's like red gold.
Yeah.
You know, this slice of, and then I'm trimming all the silver skin around it, and I'm looking at that thing, this meal that I just vacuum sealed, now I'm going to freeze. I'm like, that is so valuable to me. It's so delicious and so good for you.
You wake up horny.
Ah! So when I eat like that,
I do.
but I like ribeyes too, because ribeyes have a lot of fat, and when you're eating only meat, you really want to get a lot of fat in there too, somehow or another. So for me, it's like butter and eggs and bacon and whatever I can do to get fat, or ribeyes. So if it's game meat, it's usually game meat with something else that's going to provide me with some fats. I'll still eat avocados. I'll still eat other things.
Why is some elk like super gamey?
It's 100% how they took care of it.
Oh,
Like right after they killed it?
Unless the animal. I shot an animal once, and he had a large pus section in his hip, so he had gotten stabbed by another elk. They kill each other all the time. I mean, those antlers. That's what that's for. That's not for defense against wolves or anything like that. That is to kill each other.
Jesus.
They just fucking smash heads with these giant like war antlers, and they stab each other. Like I've seen elk that have stab holes in their body. Cam Haines snuck up on a bedded elk once. He saw this bedded elk, and he got within like 40 yards of this bedded elk, drew back, placed a perfect arrow through its vitals, and it didn't budge. Didn't even move. So he went over to it, and it was already dead. It had been killed by another bull. He's like, whoa.
All over pussy.
All over pussy. And then they become
That makes
homies
sense.
afterwards. They're friends.
Good fight.
After
bro.
they fight?
No, before and after. They're friends
shit.
for like 9-10 months, and then something happens.
Yeah.
And they start...
Just mating season, probably.
Yeah,
Just
pussy.
fucking horny.
One gal gets into estrus, and the next
She's
thing
looking
you know,
good,
she's
walking
looking good.
away.
She's making noises. They make noises.
Oof.
They go, meow, meow, meow.
You ever called in an elk?
Oh, yeah.
He was
Called
calling
in
a
elk 2 weeks
fucking
ago.
elk in the hotel room. And his travel bag. He was fucking calling it like 2 a.m. in the hotel room last night.
Do you elk hunt? Have you been elk
My
hunt?
brother and dad are like big hunters. They live in Montana, hunt everything. Like they're big about
That's
it.
the Mecca.
Yeah, but yeah, it is.
Montana's the Mecca.
That's
for
crazy. I
elk.
grew up not even fucking, couldn't even spell hunt. Didn't, nothing. But we were talking about getting me dialed in on a bow.
Yeah.
You shoot a bow sometimes.
I want to bring you to Cam Haynes' place.
That'd be, where's
And
that? Here?
It's in Oregon.
Oregon?
And he
Okay.
does this thing called lift, run, shoot. So you lift with him, you run with him, and he'll take you to the
that
bow
would be
rack
fun.
and film it for YouTube.
That would be fun.
Until you got to run 20 miles.
I think it's 13.
Oh, actually?
Yeah,
Oh.
I think it's like...
I thought like, it's like a jog.
No. I think he has you run up Mount Pigska, and then you, or you can carry a rock. It's like up to you. You can either run or you can carry this giant rock.
I'd rather run. I can fucking run. I actually, that last fight camp was the first time I wasn't running. No treadmill sprints. I did some stairs just because they weren't too bad on my knees, but
Air dying though.
did a lot of fucking air just to give my.
is the shit.
Yeah, it sucked.
It sucks a fat one,
It
but it is
sucks.
the shit when it comes to cardio.
Our sprints we were doing, because we couldn't MMA spar, we were doing fucking sprints on the Airdyne, hitting mitts, speed ladders, Airdyne. Oh my God, it was fucking miserable. I woke up and just did not want to do it at all.
Francis said that was his primary cardio for the Cyril Gane fight because he fucked his knee up.
Yeah, that was probably my primary cardio was the fucking.
No other machine can gas you out more, I don't think.
In 30 seconds, you'd be like, I'm.
VersaClimber does pretty well.
Does
too.
it?
Is that the one where you can
Yeah,
hear?
that does pretty fucking well at gassing you out too. That's a good one. We have that here. I love that thing. But I think if I had to pick one piece of cardio equipment, it's the Rogue Echo bike.
Yeah.
That's their version of it. I think it's like super beefy and sturdy. And it also, one of the things I like is it has like, you can get a plastic lid that covers the fan in front of you so that it doesn't blow air at you.
Oh, shit, really?
So it doesn't cool you off.
Yeah, that sucks sometimes.
Yeah. You don't get cooled off. You just get fucking tired.
Yeah, some of those Airdyne and pad work sessions we were doing, your heart rate was getting to 200.
Like 202. I have a
Multiple
I have a
times.
high heart rate, I feel like. But yeah,
What's your resting? You have an aura.
yeah,
right?
50. Well, when I'm out like this, shit, 54, 55,
When you're in camp and
When
you're
I'm sleeping.
tip-top Magoo shape.
48, 47.
Yeah.
But yours even like when you're not in
Real
great
low.
shape is super low.
43-ish, yeah.
Do you do a lot of cardio?
I mean, not a ton. I mean, I rolled long jiu-jitsu rounds and stuff, but not a lot of cardio. I try to do those zone 2 cardios.
That is cardio, though.
Yeah.
I mean, for sure, your heart rate's elevated through the most of it.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think also, like, one of the things they say about cardio training, there's, like, different kinds of training. Like, there's interval sprints, like Tabatas, but just steady state cardio, where you're constantly at around 130, 135, which is a lot of rolling, especially if you're technical rolling, if you're not spazzing out. Yeah. You're kind of constantly at this, like, you're not exhausted, but you're constantly...
So good for your heart.
Yeah, very
So
good.
Zone 2,
Zone
right?
2. Yeah, they say that's the best. 5 times a week. There's no excuses people aren't doing that. Even
mean,
going on a walk for
it-
45 minutes for
It takes
fat
mental
people.
strength to just sit there and do cardio for
You got to do something
40
fun.
minutes.
Something
though,
fun.
like-
Have you ever
but
played
watch a
pickleball?
movie. No,
Yeah.
I haven't.
Bro, we played pickleball for the first time the other day, and it was some of the most fun. I love ball sports anyway, but that was so much fun. It was like way more fun than tennis.
Yeah, it's
What's
good
so
time.
much more fun about it than tennis?
Well, tennis is harder to like fucking actually hit it over. It was like a big game of ping pong, and you played 2-on-2 duos, and it was like, I don't know, it was just so much fun. But an hour and a half goes by like that, and good workout, you're sweating, your heart rate's up a bit. It was just fucking fun.
Do you do cardio?
Yeah,
What do you usually do?
the Echo Bike.
Echo bike, put
That's
on a
the
movie?
big one. Yeah, yeah. Or I watch fights.
The
I
Echo
like to
bike's
watch
nice because it's not
fights.
so loud, like the Airdyne or the
Yeah.
Assault bike.
They're both pretty loud, but my home gym is set up where the Airdyne, the Echo Bike is right in front of the TV. It's this big ass TV, so I just put on Fight Pass, just find some good events. And
Smelling
just,
salts.
Oh yeah, fuck.
Oh, where are we? We
Why'd
got
you
the
say
real
that,
ones.
champ?
Yeah.
That's right.
That was my
That's
fault.
right. Is that a freshie? Let's get a freshie one. Do we have a bag that hasn't been opened?
I definitely, I've got.
Get a bag that has not been opened. I want us to like have multiple bags in store.
Well, I still have 2 that are not this brand. 3. I have 3 that are not this
My
brand.
nose
Okay.
just started
But
watering.
I think I still have this brand.
If you have that brand, that's the shit. That's Juju Mufu
Do you want
stuff.
to test this one while
Okay, chuck it
while I
over.
find it?
Yeah, give me.
I've been throwing on some Kill Tony too for when I'm doing like my hour-long zone
okay.
2s. I'll
This
throw
is
on Kill
fresh.
Tony.
All right, this is
Oh,
sealed.
Well, I
Fuck.
think the seal just got left on. I don't think it's. Did you unscrew it?
Oh, you're right.
unscrew
You're
it
right.
Too quick.
Oh!
Is that strong? It seems probably.
I'm gonna fake
It's
smell it.
strong, but it's not as strong as it is when it's completely fresh.
Yeah,
Don't
man.
do it. Don't do it. Let me get a fresh one.
I think this might be fresh enough.
That fresh one is so.
I can smell it from
Try
here.
it. Give it a shot.
I
All right.
literally
Be a
smell it
man.
from here.
It's in front of
Give it a
Uncle
shot.
Joe.
But that's nothing compared to the fresh one. Woo! Now let's get a fresh one. Now let's get a fresh one.
Breathe. Get it.
Who told me that you're only supposed to do it a couple of times a day?
Me. It says it on there.
Oh, I can't read that.
That's for pussies.
That's like
Well,
a
no, my handwriting. I can't read. My eyesight
Oh my
sucks.
god, that's like a fresh bump.
You ever
right
thought about
there.
getting PRK?
No, it doesn't suck that bad. I
Oh.
just can't read like little tiny shit.
Oh.
Like I can't read that.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I can read my phone.
Holy fuck,
I
that
take-
one.
You ever
was
take
different.
macular support vitamins? Pure Encapsulations has a macular support formula that I was like, you know, as you get older, one of the things that absolutely happens for most people, except fucking Cam Haynes, that bitch has like 2015 vision.
That's
He's
crazy.
my age.
Really?
He's a freak of nature, though. But you get macular degeneration. It's just like no matter what happens. But I killed it in its tracks with this Pure Visions, Pure Encapsulation macular support. Now this.
Oh fuck.
Is the man
This
shit?
is the shit because this is in the bag right now.
Still.
So you got this sealed bag, and then inside it's sealed. So when I open this bag, just opening this bag, I'm gonna smell it.
Yeah, we've still
Just-
got like 6 or 7 on deck. Just.
We hit some fucking deadlifts.
Okay.
I know I'm about to
All
fuck.
right, right now.
You'd smell it through there.
Through there. So the package isn't even open, right? Now what? Just take a sniff of that. It's not even open,
Oh god.
right?
That's
it's
like
not even
oh,
open. Not even
fuck.
open yet.
I loved when you and Theo were hitting it. You're like, one more.
Now,
Oh,
I'm gonna take this,
fuck.
and then there's a seal on top of it. So we're not. You can smell it through the bottle, son.
It's gotta be just good for your brain.
It's gonna be terrible for you.
I know.
It's gonna be terrible for you. All right. All right, here we go.
Oh.
Why would you do that?
Woo!
Oh, you got in there.
Get in there. Get in there, son. Get in there, son.
You had to hit it.
Let's go, champ.
Okay, I did enough.
You didn't. You
I did
gotta.
it up.
You gotta really
It
do
burst.
Oh, that takes a man to be able to rip that every day.
Oh.
it. Woo!
Gotta hit some fucking squats, baby.
God damn.
Oh, I'm gonna try. Yeah, hit that before rolling.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I don't know if that would be good though.
Yeah, I'll be
Just
smashing
fucking
people.
smash.
I think it's really good for like deadlifts.
Hockey guys
Oh,
love it before they go
fuck.
smash people.
Yeah.
Well, it definitely puts you in a psychotic state of mind.
Right.
This one's. Oh shit! I stripped it. Oh. This one's the most fresh.
Be all right.
Holy smokes.
Jesus.
That's the most freshy of the freshest.
Hit that before you pounce a puss. Wouldn't get your mind right.
I don't know if it would. I don't know if it would get your mind right. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
if it would be good for
That's-
anything. I think that's good for like maybe goofing around on podcasts and deadlifting.
Yeah, right.
That's a fuck how you sell it right there.
But all those powerlifter dudes.
Oh
do
my
that.
god, it's like still in there. Like it's still like tickling
Yeah.
my.
Brian Simpson hit it, and it was so bad that he had to take his headphones off, and he ran out of the room.
I think he broke those headphones too, bro.
His set was funny as fuck
Oh,
last
he's
night
so
too.
funny.
He's good.
He's so funny.
That was funny.
He lives with Hans, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
And
went
Derek.
over. That house is funny.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's just funny. Why it's like what our house would look like, probably maybe.
Yeah,
maybe not.
comedians that live together. It's like that's one of the cool things about that green room too. Is like we have this like communal hang where we would all because it's the most fun. It's the most fun to hang out with other comics. It's just everyone's always laughing.
Yeah.
Roasting always. Fucking.
Yeah,
The dark humor shit is just so much fun to where you just can't quite say shit online or in public or on podcasts, but you can say shit in the green room or at the house.
No phones,
or,
let it rip.
Yeah.
It's funny too how nobody even blinks. We were talking about this the other day. Like Duncan, we were talking about someone, and I go, "Have you ever seen this thing that this lady did?" And we were watching it. Duncan goes, "I'd let her piss in my mouth," and no one even blinked. I go, "Can you imagine any other work environment where one of your coworkers says, "I'd let her piss in my mouth," and no one gets offended?"
That's funny.
No one even blinked. No one even reacted.
Does Duncan live here?
Yeah, he lives there
I
too.
I always enjoy those podcasts. I like him.
Duncan lives here. Tim Dillon lives here.
Oh shit, Tim Dillon.
Yeah, Ron White lives here. Tom Segura, Christina Pazitsky. It's
Fucking wild.
A ton of up and coming comics.
Yeah.
There's because we have 2 nights of open mic nights. So 2 nights where the amateurs can practice. We have door people showcases. So all the door guys, all the people that audition to be like the people that work the door are all professional comedians.
That's
and they
sweet.
audition for that job with their act.
Cam Patterson, did he too?
Yeah.
That motherfucker's funny,
He's
bro.
funny. He's young.
His
too.
uncle too.
Yeah.
He's got real talent.
Yeah.
Like that guy can really be something.
Yeah.
It's just a time thing, you know. Mm-hmm. And and he moved out here too. Just came out here from Florida. I was like,
Yeah.
fuck it.
I remember watching the episode when he got the first time came on. It's so cool to see how just like killing it in that 1 minute can fucking change your life. It's so cool to see.
Oh, it changes everything.
Yeah.
It's
Hans.
that show has launched so many careers, and it's a great bedrock for the comedy scene here in Austin because it teaches you to just be funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about like whatever woke cultural trends and espousing all the right virtues on stage, which you do fucking see at some of these places.
Really?
Yeah, because
That's
these
weird.
They're young kids and they think they have to be woke, and they see certain people on Netflix and they see them getting critical reviews, so they try to ape that. They try to like kind of mimic that and pretend they're that, and they just get caught in this world of virtue signaling instead of the world of just trying to be funny. And on Kill Tony, you're just trying to be funny. Everyone's just trying to be funny. And you can make a legit career, and everybody realizes how fun it is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's kind of training people to just go out there and make people have a good time.
Yeah.
No one else could do it like Tony, too. He's
does
just the
such a
perfect
good
amount of ruthless.
Yeah. Oh, he's so ruthless. He's such an evil little fuck.
We were watching the last episode they just dropped, and fucking Ric Flair was on there.
Yeah.
And Tony, they started making fun of the comedians, and Rick's like, "I will not be a part of this." I was just like,
Also, he was hammered.
was he?
Yeah.
I'm sure he looked like he fucking.
It was obliterated. They said they went drinking with him on Sunday, and he said it's like a movie. He's like, Ric Flair's like, let's go meet some girls, and he's like, he's doing Long Island iced teas, and like, just getting
Jesus.
6-inch ears?
hammered.
Yeah, his ears were incredibly long. That was impressive.
That's what happens with old people.
Is it?
Your nose grows and your ears grow forever.
Really?
Yeah, your ears and your nose keep growing.
Is that like, could that be like from human growth hormones?
I think it's just an age thing. I think all old people have giant ears. Like you see really old people. So if you like are young and you have little ears, like these ears suck. Like hang in there.
Wait,
You're gonna love those when you're 80
They'll
Yeah.
grow.
because you're gonna have a normal
Damn.
face instead of looking like fucking Dumbo.
Yeah.
Some old people have crazy big ears.
For like your big, like crazy podcasts, like, I mean, like Elon and all those things, do you do like anything special in the morning or just a normal morning?
Normal. Yeah, I don't want to be hungover.
Right.
Yeah,
That would suck.
Yeah, well, especially like an Elon one or a scientist one. You know, I'll do it depending upon the subject. If it's a scientist, oftentimes I'll read their book or I'll listen to it or I'll watch lectures that they've given or TED Talks. Just try to get a sense of like what I'm curious about whatever the subject is.
Fuck, you do it with those guys that are just so smart. You do a good job at just not letting your mind wander and focusing on what they're saying.
Yeah.
That's a fucking skill.
Well, it's really because the only reason they're there is because I'm actually interested in the subject.
Makes
so I
sense.
don't have to fake it. You know, so it's not even really like a skill. It's just my honest curiosity. So when I'm talking to a guy like Brian Keating or something, this is, you know, astrophysicists guys, these guys they're so goddamn smart that really all I'm trying to do is like just get a grasp of how this is understood. What are they doing to figure this out? Is it possible that they're going to know in the future that this data is incorrect? And what other factors could be? Like they're talking about the age of the universe, and there's some debate now that the age of the universe is probably not really 13.7 billion years, but maybe even 26 billion or more. And so talking to him about that, I was like, how are you figuring this out? Like, And just to talk to those people, it's so interesting just to be able to have these kind of conversations with those type of people. You know?
Have you always been curious like that your whole life?
Yeah, I think so. About the things I'm curious in, but I was terrible in school. Like in school, I was terrible. I just did not want to be there. I just wanted to I thought they were just preparing me for a job that I didn't want. And I didn't want to be a part. And I looked at them, and I was like, I don't want to be you.
That's so true.
Like, what is this life you're living?
Yeah.
You don't have any joy. You don't have fun. You know, you're all rigid, and you look depressed. Like, get me out of here. That's what when I was in school, I was like, get me out of here. After I graduated from high school, I used to have nightmares that I didn't graduate and I had to go back.
That's funny. I knew I didn't want to go to. I was in like elementary school, and I was like, I'm no chance I'm going to college, because once I'm. Oh shit! I think we have that later.
Were you getting I mean, you weren't getting any pressure from your parents or anything about college?
Oh yeah, I was. Yeah.
But still, you said no fucking way.
Well, I took a year. I was telling everybody, I'm taking a year off. But it's like I was really all I wanted to do was compete back then. But there was zero money in Taekwondo, and I wanted to make into the Olympics. But then when I was training, one of the things that I noticed is, first of all, I always had my doubts of whether that's the best style. But then when I started kickboxing, I was starting to get lit up by kickboxers. And I was like, oh, my God, there's so many holes in this. And I don't want to, like, compete in this thing that's so limited.
Right. There's chopping your legs down.
That punches, too. Muay Thai was next. Kickboxing, American kickboxing was first. It was just, like, above the waist stuff. But I just, when you got trapped in a corner and my hands sucked, I just sucked at boxing. I was really good at kicking people. Like, if they're on the outside, I was amazed at how bad their kicks were. Like most of the kickboxers I trained with, I could just fuck them up from the outside.
Loading up.
Yeah, they were just loading up. They just, their technique sucked. Their knees were down. They're kicking up. Everything's telegraphed. It's like the kicks were just a part of brawling. And they just threw it in there. But if I could, like, get out of the way and I was, like, moving on the outside, I could close the distance so much faster than they could. But then in kickboxing, when I was getting boxed, I was like, oh, my God, I have giant holes in my game. And so it made me, like, really not enjoy Taekwondo anymore. And so I stopped competing in Taekwondo and I started kickboxing. And then I started getting headaches because we weren't sparring. We were fighting. One of my main sparring partners was this dude that had just got out of jail. I knew him when I was 16, and he was kind of crazy then, but then he went to jail for something to do with drugs. And then he came out 3 years later when I was 19, and he was a totally different person. He was super jacked. Like, I don't know if they got him steroids in jail or whatever. He had sanded off all of his tattoos. He used to have these really shitty tattoos, and he had, like, literally burned them off. So all of his arm was covered with these, like, keloid scars. And when me and that guy would spar, it was a fight to the death. He would just be chasing me down. We'd be blasting each other. And I remember one time lying in my bed, broke, 20 years old, no money, no future, and you know I had been offered a pro fight for like $400 or $500 or something like that.
MMA?
No, kickboxing. There was no MMA at the time. This is 1988, and I remember thinking, "What am I doing? Like, what am I doing with my life?" You know,
$500.
And there was just no future in it. There was just nowhere to go. Like, so you're getting good at this thing that there's nothing there. There's nowhere to go with it. Like, you could become a boxer, but you're not good at boxing. So what are you going to do? You're going to just get beat up? You're going to get brain damage? And then I got a chance to see some of the guys that I was training with start to exhibit signs of brain damage. And that's where it gets weird.
That'll open your eyes up a bit.
Yeah.
You been still doing your Invisalign?
Yeah, I took it off today. I have it on today. You guys got them on too?
I wore mine for about a year and a half. I cannot believe what, because I didn't realize how fucked up my teeth were, and then someone pointed it out, and I was like, damn, they're fucked up. And then I got Invisalign after you did, and I'll be smiling all day now. Walking around. So.
They work good as a mouthpiece too. Like, I don't mind. I kind of crave them being in sometimes.
They
it's a better mouthpiece for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably not good enough for striking, but for jiu-jitsu, it's a better mouthpiece.
I remember it was a pain in the ass though. Some nights you're just like, oh, I don't want to wear these, or you change your trays, and it's like, fuck.
God, just
worth it though.
The timing of everything though, with your career and just social media and all this stuff just blowing up. It's just so weird how everything worked out. It's just like a lot of luck, but a lot of being prepared for the luck.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's almost like fate. I mean, if you wanted to really believe in fate, if you look at the story that you guys have, it's kind of
fucking weird.
Kind of seems like it's fate.
I know
It's hard to say because, like, then what about people that don't make it? Is that fate too, or is it like could they have made it if they were more disciplined and more driven and more this, more that, and they found the right coaches and they got to the right gym, and could they have? I don't know.
A lot of people just don't make the decisions and don't do what you need to do, and a lot of that is necessarily just like isn't hard stuff, but it's like I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna ice bath, I'm gonna sauna, I'm gonna stretch, and I'm gonna go to bed instead of going out with the boys. And I'm gonna do that for fucking 9 years until I'm world champ. Like that was a lot of it. I know a lot of guys are so fucking good, but it's Friday. I'm gonna go out, hang out, drink, stay up late. Coming up, we didn't do that ever. Like right now, obviously coming off the fight, I've been traveling a lot over the weekends, but for the most part, even still, like once we get back to routine, it's like just doing those little things, stretching, taking care of your body, eating clean, and just fucking preparing for the next day, preparing for the next training sessions for years of consistency.
That's what it's all about. It's all about having a goal and building towards that goal and doing everything that you can to be as great as you can be. And now that you've done it, you've also laid a foundation and a groundwork. You've led these young fighters, like who see what you've done, and they can see that there's like a path. Yeah. And that like I'm gonna emulate this guy's focus, this guy's discipline, this guy's belief in himself, and and that is what inspires so many other people to do it. I remember being a kid watching the training sessions of Mike Tyson with Cus D'Amato, and just thinking like, wow, what an amazing convergence of these two human beings. About it comes together. This guy's fully disciplined, fully focused, and then when he wins the world title at 20 years old, you see him standing there inside the ring after he knocked out Trevor Berbick, and you're like, holy shit, he did it. He fucking did it. He did everything he had to do. He fucking went full bore with talent and drive and genetics and coaching and all the boxes checked. Everything checked, and look what you get.
Did it.
Look what you get.
Yeah.
And how many people did that guy inspire? He certainly inspired me. He certainly inspired thousands, millions of other guys to do things.
Especially Sean being like a skinnier kid. Like, inspired a lot of motherfuckers.
Yeah.
No, I think too it's like I think
I'm gonna piss too. Let's pause. We'll pause. We'll come to piss. And we're back. You want one of these kill clips?
I'm good for now. I'm good, thank you. Whew. I'm still geeking off this caffeine a little bit right here.
Let's fucking go.
Dude, literally, I mean, the art of podcasting is a crazy fucking thing. When you have 3 5-hour conversations, it's so next level.
Yeah. I sometimes have 5 a week.
Holy
fuck. Some weeks I have them every day.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's fucking impressive.
And it's like one day I'll be talking to Eddie Bravo, and we'll just be fucking around talking shit. And the next day I'll be talking to some super scientist.
Yeah, that's wild. Balance.
Mathematicians and geniuses and psychologists. It's weird.
Do you usually think it at like 2 weeks ahead or a week ahead, or is it just come in and you message them, or how does that go?
It's pretty far in advance most of the time that it's booked, and it's all booked on my interests. So it's 100% on what I'm interested in. It's like all I do is look at the potentials, like sometimes I reach out to people. Like I reached out to this guy yesterday who wrote this book on the American West. And I reached out to him because I'd heard him on another podcast, and I got his book. And sometimes it's just they'll send the email in, and it goes through my guy, and it gets filtered back to me, and he sends the ones that are relevant, and I look at those, and I'm like, And I just look what interests me. This one, nah, no, boring. What's he doing? Okay. And then I'll go see if I can find a YouTube video of them talking. Because I've had writers on before, and they can't talk, and that's kind of a bummer. Like maybe they talk the way they write. So they go, well, and I think, and you're like, oh no, this one sucks. I should have listened to this guy talk first.
Yeah.
Sometimes the ideas are great, but the people aren't compelling.
Yeah.
Do you ever have a smoke and then read a book?
Oh yeah, sure.
I like doing that.
Yeah, I like doing that. I like books in the sauna. It's my favorite.
Like audios?
Yeah, audiobooks.
You're just sweating all over your pages.
Audiobooks in the sauna are my favorite way to consume them. Because, you're going to be in that sauna anyway. I've been listening to Marcus Aurelius' meditations in the sauna recently. That's amazing. You listen to this dude that lived 2,000 fucking years ago, and he's just spitting knowledge.
I like Ryan Holiday, like how he kind of breaks down what he says. the Daily Stoics, the 365 days. I've had that book for like 4 years, and I still religiously, especially in camp for like 12 weeks out, read every morning, and just like it's good.
Yeah, it's
good
great
shit.
stuff. Ryan Holiday's awesome.
Yeah,
It's so cool when there's people that like highlight stuff like that and really put it out there and just get so many people interested in those ideas. But Marcus Aurelius is like listening to his stuff. I was always like, oh, this guy is so interesting. Like, God, imagine being like this conqueror, this guy who's like running Rome or running Greece, and you think like this.
Yeah,
like,
that's wild shit.
How does he think like that? Like, why is his mind like? Aurelius is a Roman emperor, right?
I wonder if it'd be good for like stoicism to be taught in schools at what age or something.
probably.
Sure. Teaching you how to think is one of the main things that's missing from school.
That's
like
crazy.
teaching you how to manage your mind. Because how many times like can someone say one thing to you and that thing kind of resets the way you look at stuff? Like, oh yeah, now I'll apply this, and you can apply it in real world. It's like a tool that you can use. You know, you could try to twist something with your fingers, but if you have a wrench, you're like, oh yeah, this is way better. And sometimes ideas are like a tool, and you can just apply them at various times in your life. And if you can hear about them from someone who's already figured that out, that's a giant step in the learning curve that you get to jump.
Yeah, I mean, like even if it was Naval, some of his stuff is so
Naval's
fucking good,
fun to
dude.
listen to. His Twitter's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Naval's good.
How did you decide what school your kids are going to go to?
You know, there's good schools out here. We're lucky.
Word of mouth.
California is much more problematic right now for schools, because one of the things that was happening to me in my school where my kids used to go is they hired some person to teach them that they have to be anti-racists. It's not good enough to not be racist. And I was like, what
the fuck?
I'm like, my kids aren't racist at all. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you putting that in their head that they have to be anti-racist and call out racism? And like, they were trying to make kids activists. I'm like, hey, they're 5.
That's crazy.
You know, like they don't even care. They want friends. They don't give a
Yeah.
fuck what their friends look like. They're trying to have a good time. They're 5. They're just playing. Like you're pumping in, you're indoctrinating them into this woke, guilt-free or guilt-ridden ideology that you're carrying around with you, and you feel like you have an obligation to impose this on children. You know, our goals should have always been what the goals were that the liberals had in like the 60s and the 70s, which is a colorblind society. The Martin Luther King notion that we should treat people by the content of their character, not the color of their skin, but across the board. And the problem is there's inequities in communities. There's inequities in how people grow up and where they come from, and some people are in places that have no hope, and none of that gets addressed. None of that gets fixed. None of that gets worked on. Instead, you just try to make kids feel guilty. It's like, I didn't like the woke shit. I didn't like that they were, you know, trying to ask kids their pronouns. And
How did you find out that they were doing that?
we got an email. It was an email like from
Anti-racist email?
Yeah, it was like right around the George Floyd time. I was like, oh my God. Damn. Because some people, what happens is there's a social movement, and they hop on that social movement to enhance their own career. And they use it to optimize their own, and they, you know, like it's this thing that it's what you would call a race hustler. You know, there's people that do stuff like that. Or it cannot be that. It could be any kind of social issue. You want that social issue to be a bigger deal than it is. You're attached to that. It could be climate change. It could be whatever the fuck it is. It could be you see Sean Penn doing all these interviews about the war in Ukraine. Like, what is actually going on there? Well, part of it is you're attaching yourself to something that makes you look virtuous. And it also enhances your career. So it's like a thing you're doing. It's very rare that when people are like proselytizing and out there trying to indoctrinate people into certain ideas, it's very rare they're doing it just for true altruism. Like they think that those ideas are just immensely beneficial. They're also doing it to boost themselves up. And it becomes an economy of people that boost themselves up by highlighting valid issues in the world, but doing so in a way where they become the moral compass and the person who gets to dictate how people behave and think and talk.
They build their little niche.
Yeah, it's just control, man. People love to fucking control people. And if they can control people because there's some guilt thing and a horrible social issue like the George Floyd thing, where everybody's kind of on board, like, oh my God, they killed that guy. This is horrible. Watching that, what kind of police brutality and racism and all these different things. And then someone says, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to ride this fucking wave, and I'm going to get a job in schools, and I'm going to start indoctrinating people. They wound up firing that person. So that person was going ham.
Damn.
But, you know, the whole school was like, it shifted. It shifted with the social tide. And I was like, you're not supposed to be doing that to kids. You're supposed to be teaching kids. Let's just teach them life. I don't like you, so I don't want you putting your shitty philosophy, your shitty judgmental philosophy, and indoctrinating children with it. Because I think you're a moron. You're a moron who just happens to have a job at a good school teaching kids. But I think if I sat you down in a podcast, you'd look pretty fucking stupid after a couple hours.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of these people that they don't get their ideas challenged. And now
that's
they're
huge.
and they're teaching 8-year-olds. You know, like Jesus Christ.
That's fucking scary.
And not just teaching them how to read.
Yeah, and how do you know you're a boy, Billy?
Oh,
oh Jesus.
You seem pretty feminine.
Yeah, right. Did you ever pick a doll when you should have picked a truck?
Do you like pink?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you monitor your kids on like TikTok, how much they're on it and stuff?
Yeah, we monitor them. They can't have their phones at night. It's
great. That's smart.
But I don't stop them from doing anything. I don't stop them from eating junk food. I don't stop them from playing on their computers. I don't stop them from playing with their phone. But I do emphasize the value of discipline, and they obviously see that I work hard and my wife works hard. And we just talk to them about stuff. I think if you deny kids social media, one of the things you're going to do is you're going to kind of socially alienate them because all their friends are on social media. But then there's also this thing where kids are living in a new world. And even though you didn't grow up in that world, if you say, oh, this social media, I think they're getting an adversity that you're not going to get. And they're going to get some resilience from that adversity. But there's going to be mental health consequences, and especially for people who didn't grow up in it. And that's one of the things that they experience. Jonathan Haidt's book, The Coddling of the American Mind, is about that. And one of the things it highlights is self-harm amongst girls ramps up considerably somewhere around 2008, 2009, and it's right when Twitter and social media and Facebook and all that stuff comes out. And now they're comparing themselves to other people and comparing lives, and people are using filters and they're distorting reality, and people are, there's more instances of suicide and self-harm, and then there's bullying. There's a lot of bullying.
Well, even just being on my phone, like I don't feel like I'm comparing myself, but just picking up my phone and being on it and surfing and then putting it down, then picking it up, surfing, just gives you this little level of anxiety. Dude, it's just like, fuck.
Some of the 4 and 5-year-olds, you can tell the ones that like in jiu-jitsu, the ones that their parents really monitor it compared to the ones that always just put it in front of them. And a lot of those kids that always get it, they always quit jiu-jitsu because it's too hard, or they don't want to do the warm-ups and stuff, and they sit on the side now and just go sunk, sunk, sunk.
Yeah,
that's crazy. It's so wasteful. It's so bad for you.
Yeah.
It's just so dumb. And, you know, I talk about it, but then I did it the other night. The other night, I was going to go to bed. It was 10:30, and I said, I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to go upstairs, rather, and just see what's going on online. And so I got online. I started watching YouTube videos.
So easy.
Then I went down a rabbit hole with the UFO disclosure. and it's like 3 hours later. I'm like, what am I doing? Go to bed.
That UFO.
Smelling salts.
The Razinho or whatever, that one, the documentary. I heard you talk about
Virginia,
it.
Brazil.
I watched that.
Yeah, Moment of Contact.
It's crazy because you're just like, either these guys are such good actors, or they're a little bit crazy, or they're fucking just telling the truth.
It's so hard to know about that one cop. When they bring that one cop to the site where the crash was, and he starts crying.
Yeah, that's powerful. I was like,
that guy, I just don't believe that guy could be that good of an actor. I mean, that's a Daniel Day-Lewis performance right there. I mean, that guy was killing it. If he's really acting, like, bro, that was amazing. Yeah. But there are people that are like that are completely insane.
Yep.
That can, I mean, how many people have lied about being attacked, like, you know, Jesse Smollett style? How many people have lied about things that have happened to them when nothing happened to them? There's people that know that there's a value. There's like a social value in being a victim.
Yeah.
And so they will come up with stories about something terrible that happened to them. And then they came and they took me in their craft.
Well, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. I mean, someone's fucking lying.
Yeah.
Like, which one of you?
Yeah.
That show, I recently watched that on Netflix, and I was just like, it's so wild.
Just expert actors. Black belts.
It was crazy.
To me, the craziest one was when they knew that they were recording each other.
Yeah.
So they're having a conversation, but it's so performative. Johnny is just talking like this.
That's actually really
very
good.
calm. And
That's really good.
very calm. He's a good dude, man.
He looks up.
Yeah, I'm text friends with him, and I was on the phone with him once when some shit was going down with him before the trials. And we had this long conversation on the phone. I was in Hawaii, and Stan helps. He said, "Hey, Johnny wants to talk to you. Can we talk?" I said, "Fuck yeah." So I'm sitting there, and I looked over at my wife. I go, "I'm about to talk to Johnny Depp.
That's crazy.
I'll be over here." So we're just lounging at the pool, drinking margaritas, and I'm on the phone with Johnny Depp.
And he's talking like that.
Yes.
Yes, Joe.
Yeah. Yeah,
So Joe.
he's a funny dude, man. He calls Elon Musk mollusk.
Mollusk.
Because Elon was banging
He was all
Amber
fucking
Heard.
playing the fucking good. He
Yeah,
what? Elon was the.
He was apparently involved somehow or another with Amber Heard.
Damn, that's fucking sweet. He was
Yeah.
just putting babies out there left and right.
Yeah.
I'm kind of jealous of that.
How many do you want?
I mean, in this reality, maybe not as many as in my fantasy. I would love to
You're
have
only
a
28,
bunch
man.
of kids.
You're only 28.
I know, but I'm not the one that has to get pregnant and deal with all that shit. Danny is. So
that's true.
But I'm telling her, I'm like, we could have more baby mamas, and she's not too into that idea. I would love to have a bunch of it.
We were talking last night about the surrogate thing, about how that weird it
yeah.
is that people farm off someone having their baby inside of them.
This just doesn't seem right.
It seems wild. That's what it is.
Well, I feel like there's such important connection. Those 9 months, 10 months of that baby being in there, and just
Right.
you holding your belly and you feeling it kick. There's just
How long does that take that mom to recover from that? Just like, there you go. Bye-bye.
Right. Well, I told you about my neighbors. I had these, these friends of mine that lived down the street, this gay couple, and they hired this lady to be the surrogate. They pay her, they do the whole thing, they make sure she's got good nutrition, and at the end of the year, she's like, I'm keeping the kid. Fuck.
oh,
like,
was that lady married too?
I don't think so. I think she was single. I don't remember though, but I just remember them being heartbroken because they did eventually find another surrogate, and then now they do have a son. Now their son's older.
Damn.
I've known them for like 15, 20 years. But at that time, it was like they were like so bummed out. Like they were going to have a kid.
Was it
they were
their
ready for the
sperm
kid.
too?
Yeah.
Or one of them?
I think they just both jizz in a cup and they fucking stir it
Nah,
up.
can you do that?
Squirt it in
Mix
there.
it up?
Yeah, so you don't know whose jizz it is.
Damn.
They
That's
used to think
interesting.
that there was certain jizz that would kill other jizz. There was killer sperm. There was this theory
Alpha
that
sperm?
got it was a theory that people were running with and a lot of people were talking about, and then someone re-examined it and said, I don't think this is real. Like, I don't think sperm has any ability to kill other sperm. But the idea was that, like, some of your loads were like warriors, and they would go out there and try to find the other loads in there and
fuck 'em
Take
up.
'em out.
Fuck them up. Yeah. But, that's why your dick is shaped that way. The head of a penis is literally designed to plunge out the other sperm and pull it out. So if you think
Really?
about the shape, so the head of the penis is like this, then it's got the lip, right?
That curve.
Well, that's cool. It plunges in, and the lip gets all the other jizz, scoops up back there.
Because ladies back in the day were just getting nutted in.
Yeah, well, the primate days. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
If a female was trying to mate, like one male would fuck her, another
Yeah.
male would fuck her, everybody would fuck. Nobody knew whose baby it was because there was no sense of paternity. It was just everybody fucked everybody. And so the penis was probably designed, evolved in that way to act as like a plunger, where you're like sucking out the other dude's
Little cum
jizz as you
sucker?
shoot in your own jizz.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean it's an evolutionary trait of the shape of the penis.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense if you look at
It really
this
does.
like a shape of and then having like a little head.
So why is this Tim's curved? No.
Yeah, right. Somebody was probably riding them and broke it.
Penile fracture.
That's real.
My buddy Joe Riggs. It happened to my buddy Joe Riggs.
Joe Riggs, the MMA
Yeah,
fighter.
yeah.
Yeah.
We both lived with him
He
at
broke
one
his
point.
dick.
Yep. Trying
Yikes.
to be a hero.
Of course he did.
Pulling all the way in, pulling all the way out. But guys, you see, Mariah went to visit her parents in Utah, and it's a big Mormon country. And when she was in the backwoods, there was this old guy taking pictures with like 30 young girls in their dresses. Oh, like, man, getting those girls on board with those beliefs.
Early,
the thing is, they get them on board when they're young. I mean, I mean, look, there's cults, but when there's a religion when you know the guy who made it. Like Joseph Smith was a real con man. He was 14 years old when he wrote all that stuff.
Which one's that? Is that
Mormonism?
Mormonism?
Yeah.
14.
Yeah, he said he found golden tablets that contained the lost work of Jesus, and only he could read them because he had a magic rock. And then the angels came and took the gold tablets away, he said. So when the townspeople said, "Where's the tablets?" Like, the angels came and took them away.
What if, though?
Yeah. What if?
Yeah. Who's to say?
Imagine if it was true. Yeah. So he started it, and all these years later, it's like. But one of the weird things about Mormonism is like if it is a cult, I guess it is. They are the nicest fucking cult members ever. Yeah. They're so nice.
Mm-hmm. I don't really know any Mormons.
Oh, I know a ton.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I go to Utah a lot. And I know a lot of them from there, and I had some neighbors that we're friends with back in LA that were Mormons. They were so nice.
And they know like it was started by that dude when he was 14 type.
Yeah,
they
they
don't
believe
look
in
that
it
deep
though.
into it.
They believe it. It's interesting. We have this one family, and they left the country for like a year for their kids, for their education, and took them to Europe. And then when they came back, they left the church. They just, not being there for a year, they came back like, this is kind of ridiculous. But she was talking about it, and she said one of the things that she recognized that it makes her very vulnerable to like charlatans and gurus and stuff like that, because she was kind of programmed to always believe the preacher and programmed to always believe the church. But she was kind of recognizing it in herself that she has this flaw in the way she views the world.
That's scary.
Some of those guys are such like
good talkers.
Yeah. The Waco guy here.
Oh,
you see videos
that
of him
was good.
talk.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit.
Davidians,
he truly believed
Davidians,
it.
was that the-
Branch Davidians, yeah.
The Waco.
He was the prophet.
Yeah, and it's always this guy who fucks everybody.
Yeah, and no one else gets to fuck him.
Has to be.
He fucked everybody's wife.
See, that's something I could
Get behind.
Yeah. They only could fuck him.
It's really wild though that sort of style of running a group of people has always existed. You know, Mark Andreessen, this very wealthy and famous tech guy, was on the podcast. He was telling me there's like active cults in California right now. They're just successful. And I'm like, really? Like how many? He's
like
"There's
not
quite a few."
on social media type stuff too.
I
probably.
don't think they go on social media.
You could probably kill everything if they had that.
For sure.
You gotta kind of like stay fast and loose and keep moving if you're running a cult today.
Yeah, that's Satan. That's Satan. So you
That'd be-
stay off that.
Crazy.
It's just this place that we almost had down here. When you watch that documentary, holy hell. We were talking about this last night. We always say is like the beginning of all cult movies. It looks like they're great.
Just
Looks like
dancing
they're
in the
having a good
water.
Yep, Osho.
starting-
Wild Wild
Yeah.
Country.
Osho.
Yeah.
That was so good.
His
Amazing.
books. He's
They're
got a lot of
good.
good books. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how he would fucking wear iced out watches, take private jets, Rolls
Democracy.
Royce.
Democracy is by the people, of the people, for the people.
Yeah, he had
But
me convinced.
The people are retarded. You ever seen that?
Yeah. That fucker is.
That
Yeah.
was so on point to see a guru saying that. Find that video.
That, yeah,
Jamie.
the motherfucker.
I
is next
fucking
level.
love that video.
Yeah,
But
that was
guy-
a well-made documentary too.
Yeah, Wild Wild Country, right?
See,
Yeah.
it wasn't him that was fucked up though. It was Sheila. It was
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
lady.
She was kind of hot.
Basically means
He's... Imagine getting him on the pod and he does this.
Yeah, I'd deal with it.
government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.
That's too good. That's too good.
It goes on further, but you get the point.
Yeah.
But also, like, if anybody seemed like a guru, it's that guy.
Yeah,
Like
fuck
you look
yeah.
in his eyes, like he looks like
beard.
a legit wise guru. And it seems like like I've read one of his books too. His ideas were very interesting and very legit.
Deep.
Yeah, but what happened? What went down in that town? That was great. They poisoned people.
Yeah.
And then brought all the homeless in to vote for him.
Yeah, so they fucking took over the town. And the homeless people were like, finally, we've got a community. They're like, yeah, we're done with you. Get the fuck out of here.
That's crazy.
Ship them back out. Yeah. Cults, man, it really is a strange thing that people want to follow this one person. And, you know, this one person, like, leads this community and can't be challenged or questioned. It's like, oh.
Man, it's so much easier back in the day without the socials.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, because you could just lie about stuff. Do you ever see the guy from Australia that said he was Jesus? He's like, he literally says he's the reincarnation of Jesus, and there's this woman that's with him, and he says that she's Mary, and she really believed that she was Mary, and then she found out that there was another Mary in the past, but he had said this other girl was Mary, and then they're like, hey, what about this other girl? She says she was Mary. Like, that was a mistake.
That's why she found out, because there was another Mary. That was it.
I think that was a big one.
Yeah.
Because then all of a sudden everybody was like, wait a minute.
He's all, can you walk on water, though?
Yeah, let me see you turn water into wine.
Right.
It's weird, a lot of religious people, that they'll just look at the beliefs. They won't look at who formed those beliefs and like when did they form those beliefs and who was it. Like even Jehovah's Witnesses, like this Charles Taze Russell didn't even know Greek. And he wrote this whole new translation of the Bible. And everyone got on board.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always people like that. But, I mean, the original Bible itself, like one of the weird things is the Dead Sea Scrolls, which is the oldest versions of some of the stories in the Bible. And they're different. They're in Aramaic. And it's like, well, should we all just read that now? You know, and why are we going on the New Testament instead of the Old Testament? Is the Old Testament the real thing?
Yeah,
Like,
that doesn't make sense.
It's all, I always wonder, like, where did it start? What was the experience that led these people to write these things down?
It makes sense if it was mushrooms, psychedelic. Like, that makes the most sense. People are fucking tripping and seeing these stories and writing them down.
Well, that's Marcus Aurelius, too, you know. I mean, that was one of the more interesting things about diving deep into ancient Greek culture, is that you find, like, this book, The Immortality Key, from this guy Brian Maurescu, who found that the Eleusinian mysteries, when all these people were coming to Eleusis from all over the world and taking part in these mystery ceremonies, they never know what they were doing until recently. And recently they started doing these tests on some of the vessels that they found, the wine vessels, and they were laced with psychedelics. So now they know for sure, and they've opened up a field of study at Harvard, and they're exploring this, and they're doing more testing and more studying. They know that the people that founded democracy were tripping balls. Wow. Which makes sense.
I think so.
You'd have to be tripping to say, look, instead of one person running things, let's all vote. Let's all vote. Because nobody else was doing that.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, off with their head. The king is here. Lay down the throne.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's one king running the show.
Yeah.
Was there a point when you were super religious or not at all?
When I was little. I was a little kid. When I went to Catholic school when I was first grade, but the nun that taught Catholic school was such a cunt that it was like easy to realize that it wasn't real. Like I'd like lost all of my faith in organized religion when I was 7 years old.
Yeah.
And your parents weren't putting it on you?
No. Well, my parents split up when I was young, and then when my mom married my stepdad, my stepdad was a hippie. So it was like a completely, and then we lived in San Francisco from the time I was 7 years old. So it was like the height of the Vietnam War, the hippie movements in full bloom. You know, my stepdad had long hair. We lived around all these just like counterculture people. And that was like a big part of my upbringing from like 7 to 11. So there was no religion back then. But I think religion's like a good scaffolding for people. And I think there's something absolutely beautiful about a lot of the ideas of a lot of organized religions that really, really benefit people. But I also think it could be used as a tool to control people. Like almost everything.
My mom, I feel like it's good for her, just the community sense. Because she doesn't have, like, we go to the gym, you go to the green room, you go to the comedy store, we have a community to where she just believes in her religion so much because she gets this joy from going to church because she's around this community.
Yeah.
But it's so crazy. She will look me dead in the eyes and tell me that her religion, Christianity, is the only religion. All the other religions are made up.
Yeah.
And that
Muslims will tell you the same thing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's the problem. it's like somebody's got to be wrong.
I wonder who,
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder who's the most like wealthy religion. What's the
It's a Latter-day, or what is it? I looked it up recently, actually.
Scientologists.
rich?
They own a lot of real estate.
Do they really?
Yeah, the Scientologists is an interesting one because they sued the federal government to get tax-exempt status.
What?
Yeah, not only do they know who made that one, but the guy who made that one was an author. Not only is he an author, he's the single human being, L. Ron Hubbard, who created Scientology and Dianetics. He is the single most prolific author in human history. He has wrote more words and more books than any human being that's ever lived.
So he's got a creative mind. He creates Scientology.
His books are terrible.
No way.
Terrible. This dude probably never had a second draft in his life. They are so bad. They're unbelievably stupid.
Like punctuation?
Just dumb. Just like ramble on nonsense. Here goes. The Catholic Church. Oh yeah, they're the richest.
Yeah.
Very definitely the institution with the highest wealth in the entire globe. It's estimated the operational budget of the
Are you sure it's a
Catholic
globe?
Church. It says it.
Jokes.
Well, there's a lot. Maybe
Globe.
it's a
Flat
disc.
Earth. Flat Earth.
The disc.
You never know.
The firmament. Yeah.
170 billion.
That's a lot of money, bro. Yeah. And they got this little thing that, the occasionally kids.
Yeah. Just,
Yeah.
that's only one out of every three, though.
Some occasionally some molestation.
That's crazy.
It's like the Catholic Church is so inexorably connected to molestation that if you say Catholic priest,
Yep.
people think a kid's getting fucked.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
how crazy
That's
it is.
fucking insane.
That's insane. There's not another thing on earth like that other than actual child molesters where you automatically have at least some connection in your mind. Like if a Catholic priest says, hey, I want your son to come over to my house for a sleepover.
No.
Like, wait, what? What the fuck are you talking about? But if like a boxing coach is like, hey, we're going to take some kids over to the house for a sleepover. We're going to take them on an early morning run, and then we're going to do this, and we'll have them back to you by Saturday. And the kids come back all laughing.
Yeah.
Like this guy's been doing this. They run camps.
Yeah.
Everybody camps out.
Church camp.
It can happen. It's normal. But if it's a Catholic priest, everybody goes, what?
Yeah.
You're going to be alone with the kids?
No.
The fuck you are.
That's crazy.
Some religions
Crazy.
too, like if a kid says, "Hey, this elder or whatever molested me," they have it in their rules or whatever that there's need to be 2 witnesses.
Oh.
There needs to be 2 witnesses, or we're not taking precautions.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing about that is that it's somehow or another a repeating cycle. The people that get molested wind up molesting other people.
That's weird.
Oh, that they create the demons, fucking for real.
It's like a vampire thing. Like you're getting bit by a vampire.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Fuck, just fucks you up for good.
It fucks you up for good. Have you guys been to Rome? Have you ever seen like the Catholic Church and the Vatican?
No.
It's insane. The Vatican's incredible. I mean, I can't imagine the amount of money and art that they have.
Really?
It's so overwhelming. Like there's so much art. They have like priceless pieces just laying next to other priceless pieces, and you go on this tour through the Vatican of all the art collection. It's fucking unfathomable art.
Is it like the place in Abu Dhabi? What was that place called? The big where we wore our suits to and got a tour of the church.
That was the
Muslim center.
I don't remember what it was called.
You know what I'm talking
It's one of
about?
the big churches. One of the fucking.
The biggest ever.
the
Oh, I
Muslim-
thought you
where they
go
go
and
and
see
pray
it.
and they fucking.
It's some mosque.
Mosque.
The
Jesus,
mosque.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
In Abu
mosque
Dhabi?
was like,
Yeah. That was like powerful. You walk in there, I was almost Muslim like that.
yeah.
I was thinking
Well,
about it.
that's one of the ways that people do get converted, just by the gorgeousness of it. Is this it?
Yeah, that's part of it. It's fucking insane. I don't.
So
think
the Vatican though, that's like an older building.
Well, the Vatican is essentially a country. It's actually a country inside of Rome. So that's one of the ways
Really?
they keep the child molesters is they can't like extradite them. They can't like
What?
Yeah, yeah. So
That's some high up
they'll
shit
hide
going
them.
on.
They'll hide people in the Vatican. What the Vatican is, it's like I think it's like 100 acres or something like that, and it's inside the Catholic Church's control. So it's like a country inside the city.
a lot of security?
Rome. Oh yeah, yeah, a lot of security. It's a country inside the city of Rome, essentially.
Wow. You still haven't been to the pyramids, right?
No.
I haven't either. Is there like a lot of tourism? Like I remember
Yeah.
seeing like there's the pyramids, but if you like pan this way, there's like a hotel and like
there's a Four Seasons, and
that's
you look out the Four
crazy.
Seasons, you see the pyramids in Giza.
That's wild.
Yeah, I'm gonna get there.
I'd
But
like to go there
It was this
someday.
summer. We were trying to figure out if we're gonna go to Egypt and Greece or just Greece, and so we chose to just go to Greece. And Greece was incredible.
Never been there.
When
yet.
you go see the Parthenon, you're like, oh my God, this is 2,500 years old, and probably older because they built it upon an existing structure, the Acropolis, and they don't know how old that is.
Jesus.
Like that's all kind of been there for thousands of years before that.
Was that a good age to bring your daughters?
Yeah,
Pretty good age.
They enjoyed it. I mean, I think any age is a good age to get kids to see different things, different cultures. I mean, I've been traveling with my kids since they were really little. We took them to other countries when they were like 2 years old.
Just a plane ride.
Yeah, the plane ride's a bummer.
Oh.
But with kids, dude, you give them a fucking iPad with some movies.
Yeah.
They just chill. Give them
Yeah.
snacks. And they're
Edible.
little, so seats don't bother them. Give them an edible. Give them a little heroin. Seats don't bother them because they're little, so they can just sit in that seat and fucking chill. iPads have amazing battery life.
Yeah.
You can watch fucking 7 movies in a row. Next thing you know, you're in Italy.
Speaking of heroin, you had that one Dr. Carl
Hart.
Yeah, Carl Hart on. And I listened to that, and then we did a podcast on ours, and it got clipped. I was like, yeah, I would probably do some heroin with him. Like, and it got clipped up everywhere. Me promoting heroin and doing heroin and stuff. It was pretty funny. But that was a fucking interesting one.
He's fascinating. He's a fascinating guy. Very fascinating. Yeah.
He had a very interesting outlook on drugs.
Well, he was a straight-laced guy who didn't do any drugs at all until he became a researcher. And then when he was a clinical researcher, he realized, he's a professor at Columbia, and he realized when he was doing research, like, oh, our perceptions of the effects of drugs are all just a lot of propaganda and bullshit. And a lot of the problem is like impure drugs, drug abuse of these drugs. And
Like Molly and stuff. Like Molly.
heroin.
Yeah, like
Cocaine.
It's like,
Candy.
it's not. Yeah, candy's the worst drug of them all for
What's
little
candy?
kids. Just
Oh,
kids
okay.
for like giving them fucking Sour Patch Kids and Skittles, and they're just fucking
Or it's
geeked
just-
out on sugar for a little bit.
Or it's okay for like a 350-pound person who's clearly going to die from a heart attack to go into a gas station, load up on the ice cream, load up on the candy, and head out.
killing themselves.
Yeah, they're
It's
killing
okay.
themselves. There's a lot of people killing themselves in this country with food.
But the drug one was just, I always thought that was interesting because I was terrified of marijuana growing up. My dad was a cop. My mom was a nurse. It's just in my head that this is just fucking poison. Bad for
When
you.
did you first try it?
This fucker made me put a joint in my mouth, fucking lit it.
Well, we'd be training twice a day, and he'd come home and
19 years
still be
old.
like, let's go do something, and just be jacked up. I'd be like, bro, there's a lot of good athletes smoking this weed. Just try it, dude.
Because I had so much energy. I'd train in the morning. I'd be 19 years old, move down to Phoenix, train in the morning, train at night. Him and his buddy are chilling, and we're at the apartment. I'm just like wanting to do something. So I took a puff, and I fucking chilled out for a little
Changed
bit.
your life.
I changed my life. I was able to, because it's hard, hard to fucking get into that state, but now it's a lot easier. It's
I mean, some people who do it, though, and then just every time something's going on, and they just smoke, and then they're just lazy. I think it's bad for a lot of people.
yeah, I agree.
I
They're
think some
pussies.
people are just lazy. And if you give them weed and blame it on the weed.
Yeah, for sure.
It doesn't make me lazy. It makes me the opposite. If I smoke weed and I haven't done the things I need to do, I go, oh, God, I got to go to work.
Yeah,
I
same.
start freaking.
I like that paranoia.
I
Makes
do
me-
too.
It makes me start thinking about what I gotta dial in my diet. I gotta fucking.
Yes.
I gotta get to the gym. I gotta train. It gives me
Yeah.
that anxiety, like, oh fuck, I'm the champ. I gotta I gotta do everything right. It gives me that paranoia.
Do you know there's a thing that people say commonly that when someone becomes a champion, they almost get 30% better just because of being a champion? Do you feel like that's going to happen to you?
I feel like I felt that after I beat Alfred in my contender series fight. I felt like I won. I just felt like I got way better just because I had just fought at the biggest name, biggest fight. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I have a lot of work to do. I need to get back to the gym as fucking fast as possible.
But knowing how big of a beast Aljo is, and knowing that you sat him down with the right hand, how much confidence is that?
It wasn't
give
even the more of the confidence I got was just not getting taken down. He had me up against the fence where he wanted me twice, couldn't take me down. Knocking him out, I knew I could do that. The question was, can I not get taken down? He took Henry down 4 times. He had me up against the fence exactly where he wanted me, and he couldn't take me down. That's where I got my most confidence from, for sure. Knocking him out, I felt like I knew I could do that.
It's such a big advantage to being a really good striker. Because if your whole thing is you have to close the distance and clinch with someone, and you're a good striker, but you don't, it's not your thing. Like, you're not just looking to put it on somebody. It's like you're using it as a tool to enact your skill set. You know? To have that fucking one shot. Also for marketing, like, how many times have people seen that Eddie Wineland knockout?
That one is crazy. That's one of my favorite. That one just
beautiful.
Like, ding, and that's the way he slapped. And it was at the apex. It was quiet. You just hear, and you hear him going. He was snoring. That was crazy.
Well, who's the last person in like the smaller weight class divisions to one-shot KO people?
To win the belt even by KO.
To walk off and KO people though. Has there ever?
Well, Marlon one-shot KOs people, and Corey's one-shot KO'd people.
With knees. With knees and stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah, but with like one straight right hand.
Yeah, but I feel like once I get back to real training, I'm really hoping these stem cells fucking just.
Yeah, it's gonna help.
I'm optimistic.
And by the way, you can come back once a month and keep getting shot up.
Yeah, Brigham's a man. A very knowledgeable dude, weighs the well. That was fucking
super knowledgeable, and they stack a bunch of different things together. They're gonna be beneficial, and he's always up on the latest studies, and he's also got this incredible memory. So you talk to him about, he can relay all the information in a very dissolvable way.
And they do peptides and everything there.
Everything.
That's fucking sweet.
I'm all about the peptides. I've been, we were talking about this last night as well, that the UFC is trying to allow people to take peptides again, specifically BPC 157, which just helps you heal. I mean, that's really what it's about. It just helps soft tissue damage repair quicker.
God, that would be.
What about the ipamorelin, the CJC? That doesn't that help with joints and ligaments and bone density?
Yes, it does, and it also promotes human growth hormone. Yeah, and that would be beneficial as well. You look. I just think this whole idea of purity is horseshit, because there's not the purity in sport in terms of like supplementation. Are you allowed to take creatine? You are. Okay, well, creatine's a performance enhancing substance. 100%, absolutely. It's not just physically enhancing. Creatine is cognitively enhancing. There's some great benefits to supplementing with creatine. And then there's also your stacking BCAAs, your branched chain amino acids. It's going to give you a benefit. Those are supplements. You're getting it from a supplemental form instead of from your food. And you're getting it on top of your food. You're stacking it. You're doing it with a bunch of other stuff. You're taking beta-alanine before you exercise. That's performance enhancing. If you take cordyceps mushrooms like Onnit Shroom Tech, 100% helps you hit an extra gear when you're training. There's a lot of pre-workouts that are legal. There's a lot of stuff that's legal that is 100% performance enhancing. I think what we have to keep people doing is doing supernatural levels of testosterone and growth hormone and things that allowed like Vitor Belfort to become TRT.
Alistair.
Alistair. But even that, it's like, listen, if anybody should be able to fucking do that, it's guys who fight in a cage for a living. Right. If anybody should be able to do that, to like be at their prime, as long as they weigh 135 pounds when they fucking step on that scale, I think we're wrapped around this idea of cheating. I think we should be wrapped around this idea of optimizing. And I think optimization should be the most important thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you're 35, 36, 37 in the UFC, you've been competing in the UFC for 10 years, and you're not allowed to just do any of these peptides. You're not allowed to do any of this. You go to get your blood work, and the doctor's like, hey, you're lacking in these areas. This could benefit your life.
Yeah, it would change your ability to train, change your performances inside the octagon, change your ability to recover.
Just being able to recover and train. Like, I haven't trained in the last few weeks, and it's crazy.
Well, this is the thing about jiu-jitsu, right? Jiu-jitsu, specifically like Abu Dhabi, which is the premier jiu-jitsu organization, they don't test for steroids, and everybody openly takes steroids.
Yep.
And so this is how they're able to compete with guys like, when you're at that level, like a Gordon Ryan level, Gordon is open about steroid use. He trains 365 days a year. How are you going to do that?
Yeah,
if you're not juiced up,
no chance.
How are you going to recover? How are you recovering? You're weightlifting in the morning, and then you're doing jiu-jitsu at night every day, 365 days a year.
Fuck, that'd be nice. Be able to train like that.
That's the way you train like that. You train like that on juice. And if you do, you become, if you also are super intelligent and super dedicated, and you have John Danaher in your corner, you become Gordon Ryan at 27, which is just bonkers.
Insane.
Greatest of all time, hands down, consensus. No one's arguing.
Yeah.
27.
And then you get to see two of those gorillas go at it, like Andre Galvo and
Nicky
Gordon
Rod
at those ADCCs. Like, whoa, that's fucking
God.
sweet.
Yeah,
imagine if kids Cade Rutolo and Ty Rutolo, those guys on that stuff would be fucking a nightmare.
Well, you know what though? They're so young. They shouldn't be on anything.
Yeah.
Like, don't ruin your fucking endocrine system. They're competing at such a high level without it. But as time goes on, you know, like even guys are 19, 20, when you hit 23, 24, my fucking shoulder, my back, my ribs. Like, how many jiu-jitsu guys do you know that have fucked up backs?
Yeah. I mean,
So
all of
many.
them.
Everybody.
All of them.
Fucked up necks.
Yeah.
Fucked up backs.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do anything for your neck? Like you do iron neck or anything?
I mean, God, my neck. I feel like my posture is like a little fucked up, so I've always had like really good guillotine defense and shit. But I don't know, my neck took a beating, but it feels pretty strong and not too bad. But my back fucking gets fucked up from wrestling a lot.
Do you ever do things specifically to strengthen your neck?
Not really, just wrestle.
Dude, get an iron neck.
You
We
like
might have
those?
one here they'll give you guys. It's the shit. Greatest invention ever for working out your neck.
Really?
You ever use it?
Mm-mm.
So we have
I've
it here. I'll
seen
show
them.
it to you after the show.
Is that what keeps your posture so sharp?
Mine?
Yeah.
No, I'm just as cognizant of it because I have bad posture my whole life. But
hard.
you just keep this fucking halo on your head, and it's got a bungee cord, and you back up like this. It's like a 50-pound bungee cord, and then you do this.
Do sets. Fuck.
It's like
Yeah.
a bowl.
That's it right there. I'll
Yeah.
show it to you guys. We have it in the gym.
Wrestling, definitely. People hanging on your neck, though. If you're
Oh.
doing fucking 5-6 rounds and you're wrestling.
Horrible.
That's my favorite practice, 100%. Not even close to anything else. Just
Wrestling?
grappling, going live from the feet. We have such good wrestlers at our gym, too.
Why is that your favorite?
It's fucking exhausting. I love hitting people in takedowns. There's a high. It's almost like knocking someone out. Not quite as good, but you hit a little duck on somebody and you score on them. It's fucking fun. I feel good when I do that. But yeah, people hanging on your neck, especially when you're going with these college wrestlers like Bryce Meredith. When he fucking snaps your head down and you're fucking trying to keep your posture up.
Yeah, 3-time D1 All-American, like 2-time NCAA finalist. Like, they're different level wrestlers.
Yeah, and it's fun going with those high ass level wrestlers. It's humbling. But yeah, that's my favorite practice. Those are my favorite.
Yeah, you don't see wrestlers like going, well, how old is Jordan Burroughs actually? Because he's been wrestling at that high
He's
level.
like 36.
Fuck.
Is he really? Oh shit.
And he's still at the top of the food
That's
chain.
What a
insane.
freak.
How old
Really?
is Jordan? 35.
And to practice
35.
like that,
Yeah.
wrestling's fucking brutal.
And 100% natural because he's getting tested all the time.
Damn.
That's impressive.
Yeah. He wouldn't even drink one of these. I offered him a CBD Killcliff, and he was like, "What's in there?" I go, "CBD." He's like, I don't think I can. I might pop for something." I'm like, "This?" I'm like, "This is not going to make you pop for anything." He's like, "I can't take a chance."
The trickiest shit with that, what I've learned from my experiences, like this one doesn't say it, but if it said dietary supplement on the back or on the bottom, and if it says supplemental facts instead of nutrition facts, that's when you can't take it unless it's third-party tested. So like a Celsius says dietary supplement on the bottom, and it doesn't say it's not third-party tested. So that you could test positive for that.
Oh, well, I guarantee you, if you drink Killcliffs,
No, those ones don't. Yeah, those ones are good.
It's just vitamins and minerals and fucking.
But certain drinks, you got to be so fucking careful. He grabbed these gummies at the store the other day, these veggie gummies, and he's like, "Do you want one?" I looked at the bag, and on the bottom it says dietary supplement. And I can't have, if you're in the USADA pool, you cannot have anything that says dietary supplement that is not third-party tested because you could fucking test for something.
That makes sense.
It's fucked.
Is it like a deal they have at the USADA? Is it like a certain year deal, or is it they just pay him yearly for it?
UFC?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I'd pay him off.
Tell me.
Hey, fellas, enough's enough. I think we've proved our point.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, some of the guys that got caught weren't even from USADA. Like TJ wasn't from USADA. I think it was like an athletic commission. Yeah.
But you know who I can't wait to see climb up to is Bo Nickel. Like, Bo Nickel versus Kamzat, Bo Nickel versus Paulo
Strickland.
Costa, or Strickland.
Man. Yeah, man.
That's gonna be.
And
fucking
he's got
good.
fucking hands too.
Yeah.
That's what's interesting. He's such an athlete.
Yeah.
You know.
He's that next fucking breed.
Yep. Yeah. Very interesting to watch. See what happens with that guy. He's a big elk hunter.
Is he?
Yeah, big bow hunter, man.
Yeah, he seems like an interesting dude. He seems like he's just doing everything
Yep,
right. That's one
smart,
thing.
dedicated.
He's living like a champion. That's where I
Yep.
feel like I was doing before all these guys. Before like when I was young in the UFC, I was living like a champion. I was pretending I am a champ and I have defend the belt. I got it, and a lot of these guys don't.
What a crazy premiere you had, like that showed the world who you were with fucking Snoop Dogg and Uriah Faber doing commentary. And really, there's no other opportunity for that to happen because they don't even do that anymore.
Yeah, one season. I was on the first season. They did it. Everyone, I mean, Snoop got a lot of hate and like for that, so I don't think they had him back on again. But yeah, I lucked the fuck out. That right there went so. And he posted on his IG a bunch. He sent me a text after the fight. You did it, nephew.
Look at that.
There's one guy.
That's skinny ass.
As my boy Snoop. It's
This is so funny, bro. He still calls me Sugar Shane sometimes.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, that is funny.
I think he called you that on the podcast.
Yeah. He does. He still does. I'm
he's
like,
amazing.
Fine.
He's amazing.
That dude's a
hustler. He's one of those guys that it kind of almost weirded me out that he was here.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, I'm hanging out with Snoop Dogg, and he's like, we're talking, and he's rolling blunts. He's just sitting there rolling blunts. I'm like, oh my God, I'm smoking weed with Snoop Dogg. Like, this is so crazy. This is so crazy.
That dude's connected.
He's a great guy, too.
Yeah.
Just a great guy.
Yeah, those.
And again, a fucking real hustler. Been around forever.
Him and Shaq.
Yeah.
Him and Shaquille O'Neal are fucking businessmen.
Yep.
Yeah. I love that.
Smart.
Does it motivate you being around him too? Is he one of those guys or is he just
Snoop?
Like you think he'd be?
He's just very nice, very friendly, and very chill and cool to be around. He gave me a bunch of gifts. Gave me some cool jackets. He gave me this Death Row chain.
Death Row, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, he's just fucking awesome, man. It's just it's just weird to be around. It's weird to be around certain iconic people. Like I had Quentin Tarantino in here. I'm like, that's Quentin Tarantino.
That's crazy.
Really Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
You know? Luckily I had met him one other night. I met him at the Comedy Store one night. He actually saw me perform and he came up to me after. He goes, dude, you fucking killed. That was awesome. And I'm like, holy shit, that's Quentin Tarantino. This is Quentin Tarantino. I mean, I remember just moving to L.A., and I was with this girl that I dated, and we went to see, at the Man's Chinese Theater, we went to see Pulp Fiction. And I remember sitting in that movie theater going, what kind of fucking movie is this? This movie's so wild.
I don't think I've seen that. Have you?
You never seen Pulp Fiction?
He hasn't seen any.
I don't know who Quentin Tarantino is.
Yeah,
you don't know who Quentin Tarantino is?
I don't know shit about, like...
You don't know, like, The Hateful Eight or Django or...
None of that.
No? Jackie Brown? Nothing?
Nothing.
Oh, my God. You have so many good movies to see. Kill Bill?
I've heard of Kill Bill, but I don't know what
do
it
you
is.
do for time? You like playing video games? And...
I quit after the Peter Yan fight. I quit.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, I'm fighting for the belt. I'm fucking using those couple hours a day to recover or train.
Wow.
More I quit gaming. Yeah.
Good for
after
you.
After that Peter Yan fight.
Yeah, man, it'll suck that time, baby.
It's so fun. And it's a lot of energy.
Hour and a half a day, though, with the boys where you can just let loose. You feel like you're in war.
Yeah,
I
it is
fucking
fun.
love the
Tim's not
release.
giving it up.
No,
I love the
He's
release.
been playing more.
A little bit of heroin never did anybody wrong. It relaxes me at the end of the day.
Yep.
Imagine if you've never seen a Tarantino movie and someone's like, hey, check these out on Netflix. You got some shit to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Would it be fun?
Bro,
you've
got some fucking movies to see.
You got some movies.
What years are they? Like old?
No.
Well, they started in 94. That's
when I
Pulp
was
Fiction.
born.
Yeah, so start there.
Okay.
Pulp Fiction's fucking amazing. Reservoir Dogs. That was his first one. That's fucking incredible.
He's the actor or he producer?
No. Well, he sometimes has small roles in some of his movies, but he directs, produces, writes in them. He's the fucking man. I mean, he's never made a bad movie. He himself is responsible for some of the greatest movies of all time.
That's a crazy fucking skill.
Yeah, and he won't do but 10. He's going to do 10 movies. He's done 9 so far. He's trying to figure out what his 10th movie is, and then he's done.
Really?
Yep. He's thinking, then I'm done.
So he writes everyone's lines. I'm
He
sure,
writes everything.
What?
Yeah.
That's such a crazy fucking
You didn't see
skill.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Oh my God, it's good. God damn.
So he's got 9 movies I need to watch.
9 bangers.
Okay.
He didn't have one movie that I watched. Like,
Really? That's
no,
so crazy.
Not one. All of them are wild. All of them are hyper violent.
Oh.
To the point where you're like, jeez.
Yeah.
Like, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it's like he's grandfathered in. Because there's this scene, it's about the Manson family. and Brad Pitt.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, Brad Pitt is the hero in this movie, and there's a scene where he kills a woman, smashing her head against a fireplace.
Jesus.
And you're like, this is the hero of the movie who's doing like. And I was watching this going, Tarantino's grandfathered in to make this kind of movie. Right. Nobody else can make this kind of movie today in this climate. It's just too fucked up.
Damn.
Sean's never even seen Wolf of Wall Street.
Not yet.
It's a great movie. Too.
I'm nervous.
It's good.
It's a great.
I'm like,
movie.
I just know I might. That's it might send me downhill. No, I'm joking. Maybe. I can see how people do that though. Start making a lot of money, get an opportunity to go travel, you go to the club. It's fucking fun, chicks.
Well, also if you're a stockbroker, like your whole game is about making money. Well, why are you making money if you're not spending it? And if you're gonna spend it, you're gonna spend it in extravagant, wild, crazy ways because that's the thrill to have that money. And you're fucking in that hedonistic, snorting coke lifestyle.
God, in another life.
Buying watches and shit. You have a little watch collection?
Yeah, I do. But I like functional watches more than like baller, diamond encrusted shit. I like tool watches. I like dive watches, like Grand Seikos and Rolexes and shit like that.
Yeah, you have some nice Rolexes to see when you're doing the UFC and stuff.
Yeah, when I do the UFC, I wear a nice watch. But like, this is a Garmin. I wear this. This is my watch I wear when I'm hunting.
Fucking whole nother world, huh?
Shit.
The watch world.
Yeah, the watch world's a whole nother world. Yeah.
People could drop some serious cheddar on those watches.
Oh, dudes are running around like Ed Sheeran. He was running around, and someone said that's a $500,000 watch he's got on. I'm like, okay.
Ed.
Okay.
Fucking redheads.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What kind of watch are you wearing there, Sean?
I'm wearing a Richard.
Is there Richard Mille?
Richard Mille.
Oh, dude, you went baller.
Yeah, at the ball.
Woo! That's not even the strong one.
Oh, it is.
The strong one's over with Jamie. Jamie's got the strong one.
That one made me cry.
I chucked the strong one towards you.
No.
Right?
Oh my God.
Let's fucking go.
Holy shit, that's powerful. My eyes are watering. Oh.
Yeah.
I just had a. Oh, no. Oh, I just had an urge to just hit it real quick.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It gets in there. It gets in your blood. When we leave those around the comedy club green room, you always, like last night, everybody's hitting it.
Yeah. I don't even mean to. It
weird.
just happened.
Well, you see people do it. You're like, I want to try.
Oh. Yeah, I always wanted to try after seeing you guys hit it on the pod. I was like, God, I got to rip them.
Are they allowed to do that in boxing anymore? Because they used to do that, where they would give them
In between
smelling salts
rounds?
in between rounds to wake them
Fuck,
up.
imagine you get cracked and you're like, and you get, oh, I'm good.
Yeah, no shit.
I wonder if that'll do it.
I don't know if the commissions would allow it.
Banned.
It's banned.
Yeah, commissions.
I wonder why. Is it a performance enhancer? Or is it just dangerous?
After Panama Lewis
Holy fuck.
gave Aaron Pryor some unknown substance in between rounds against Alexis Arguello, Panama Lewis was like known for cheating. Like it was a big part. Like he's a known bad guy, and he gave Aaron Pryor this. He goes, "Give me another bottle." No, the one I mixed.
Oh.
And he gives it to him, and he gives it to Aaron Pryor, who was he had known coke problems.
Oh.
Improper use of smelling salt's a growing concern among. Look at that guy's eyes.
Did they find out what was in his
Hockey
drink?
player.
It says
No.
80% of NFL players are known to use it.
80%. What's the problem?
Yeah, I wonder if
Well, I've seen the biggest.
Oh, look at this shit.
biggest problem
Trauma
is-
patients often suffer neck injuries that may be undetected. The first response to a noxious smell to suddenly jerk the head away from the stimulus.
No.
This can result in a dislocating an injured spine and
biggest
potential
injury is
paralysis.
whiplash from it.
Yeah.
I can see that shit.
Well, I could see if you had a hurt neck.
Yeah.
But if you did have a hurt neck, like if you got KO'd in football, you
Yeah.
got clashed, and your head's fucked up, and they give you a smell, you're like, ah!
Yeah.
And you like, yeah, and you don't realize your neck's jacked, and I could see that. But in other circumstances, like,
That's like 1% chance.
yeah, like if you get dinged with an uppercut, and they in between rounds they give you that, you're like,
They banned them from fighting because they can hide concussion symptoms.
Oh,
Like
I
you
guess
get
that is a
probably so jacked
benefit.
up, you would know you're fucked up. And
oh.
that's what this says. It says in the 70s they were eventually banned.
I could see that though. It kind of just fucking puts you in the.
But is
it's
it
the-
better to just go out and still be concussed and fight? Because people
point.
are always concussed and fighting.
That's a very good point.
I mean, think about Snoop. I mean, excuse me. Think about, like how many times has a fighter been cracked early in a fight, and then you see they're still dealing with that later in the fight, and then afterwards they don't even remember the fight.
Yeah, a lot.
That happens oftentimes, right? Like that person's concussed.
Yeah.
It happens all the time. Like guys win fights and they're concussed. And they're like, after the second round, I was on autopilot and I went back to my corner. I said, what round is it? They're like, round 5. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
How is this round 5? Like, okay, Adesanya versus Strickland, that first round, when he got cracked.
Yeah.
High likelihood of concussion.
100% chance.
100% chance.
Yeah.
I mean, he got dropped, spun around, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. How many left hands did he hit him with?
Like probably 20.
Clean.
At least.
A bunch were clean. You got to think he's dinged after that fight. And when he said his arms felt like rubber, and like, how much of that was a factor?
Yeah.
Could it easily been a factor when they said it didn't look like him in there? Maybe that's why. I mean, it easily could be from that.
Most likely.
And imagine
especially because he shows up every time. Yeah.
they could
That
just
fucking hits him right back.
Yep.
Woo! And I'm back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to put a little on your finger for next fight, just in
Yeah.
case. You go, whoop.
Yeah, just have some, when you.
There's Tom Brady doing it.
TB12,
He's apparently
baby.
known for doing it.
Oh,
Damn,
really?
he's fired.
I bet he is.
Oh,
I
he's
bet
a-
he's known for doing every goddamn thing that works.
Yeah, I just listened to him on the PBD pod.
Oh, was he on that?
Yeah, he was on that. Interesting guy.
I bet that was good.
Playing at that high level for that long and like just taking care of his body.
Yeah,
I like listening to that shit.
You have to be insanely smart
Yeah.
to be a quarterback.
That's the craziest fucking position in like all sports, I feel like.
Yeah, you have to know so much about what's going on. I went to my first NFL game 2 weeks ago.
Were you like in the suite, or were you able to get on the field?
50-yard line.
That's
like
cool.
front row, 50-yard line.
Changes it when it's that close.
Insane.
What'd you think of it?
It was incredible.
So fun.
It's so fun.
Can't watch it on TV.
And there's like 80,000 people in there, and everyone's going nuts when they're cheering. And it's in Dallas, and the Cowboys are playing. Woo!
Yeah.
Those players just look like dinosaurs marching off the field.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
These dudes are so fucking huge. They're so massive.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird that the UFC has a 265-pound weight limit, isn't it?
Yeah.
I feel like there's a whole another ball game if you open up that 265 plus,
Right,
which is good.
a super heavyweight division. But who would do it? Because everyone is preparing to be 265, right? So, like, you would have to develop your talent outside
Right.
where they have a super heavyweight division, and I don't know of anybody that has one.
UFC could probably figure that.
Does ONE
LFA.
FC have a weight limit on their heavyweights?
I'm not even sure.
That's
Yeah, I
a
don't
good question. Google that, Jamie. Does ONE FC have a 265-pound weight
All I
limit?
know is when I looked this up the other day, I couldn't find the last super heavyweight fight was like in 2018. It was
Remember the Pride ones with like that Do Hyung Choi, the 7-foot guy fighting Fedor?
Oh, yeah.
When they'd have those super matches.
Yeah, they had crazy fights over in Pride.
I'm so glad there's weight classes.
Oh, my God.
That would not be fun.
UFC 1.
Fuck. I would have been fucked.
If you have your skills now, though, you
Back
might
in
not
the-
be fucked.
Way back then.
It's 265 also.
That ONE FC is 265 also. That's such a weird number. Why is that a boxing thing or no?
No, not at all.
Wait, boxing doesn't have a weight
Boxing
limit, right?
doesn't have the weight limit. Tyson Fury's like
That's
280,
right.
290 sometimes when he fights.
Yeah, I feel like I'm more excited for the. I'm excited for that fight, but I feel like I'm more excited for Dylan versus Logan and KSI versus Tommy.
Are you really?
I don't know why. I just keep forgetting about. I feel like they're promoting it very well. I'm seeing it all over, and then I'm not really seeing Francis versus Tyson all over as much as I'm seeing the other ones.
That's interesting. I'm not paying attention at all to the Dylan versus Logan thing, other than the online drama. Occasionally, someone will send it to me, but I try to avoid all that stuff. Like, I don't want to talking
It's
about
fucked up.
his girlfriend. His
I
fiance.
know.
Like, come on.
It's like, where's the line?
I'm getting a new number. When I get my new number, I'm not putting any apps on my phone.
Smart.
I'm gonna keep this phone and just have apps on that phone, and just every now and then when I have to post or something like that, I'll post. But my new phone, no apps. It's too much.
Do you have a good time scrolling on Instagram though, seeing like bow hunting stuff?
Yeah. If I could curate it correctly, but
Yeah.
it's too late. I follow like 5,000 people.
Yeah.
Because I'm if someone posts something I think is funny or something I like, I go follow. Why? It's not gonna hurt me to follow them.
Yeah.
So I follow so many people.
Yeah.
And then the algorithm recommends people that I don't follow and things I don't follow, and so many of those are murder.
And
So
butt,
many of those are
On Insta?
animal attacks,
butt
murder.
cheeks.
Yeah, but that's normal. I
Yeah.
mean, you could find sex online. I mean, it's like 1/3 of internet traffic.
Yeah.
If you seek it out, but in the Instagram feed, when I'm not even looking, I'm seeing people get killed by bulls. And like,
Jesus.
Yeah,
I don't see any of that on mine.
bro, my algorithm's a mess.
Yeah.
It's all muscle cars and people getting killed and people getting knocked unconscious.
How crazy is that fucking X Plaid or just the Plaid Tesla?
It's insane.
I got
Have you driven in
pulled
it?
over again. I have one.
Oh,
I got pulled over again. In literally the exact, so right before I went to Boston, a couple days before Boston, I got pulled over on the highway and pulled into the same neighborhood. And fucking right before I got here, got pulled over, same highway, same neighborhood, same cop. I'm like, fuck. So I gotta go deal with that when I get home. But those X's are fucking insane.
They're so fast.
They're so fast. Even on the highway, you're going 90. It's just like, feels like you're going 60.
It makes no sound.
Yeah.
And when you merge, you don't feel like a douchebag. If I merge in my Porsche, it's like, like I feel like a dickhead.
Yeah.
But I'm faster than that in the Plaid. I mean,
It's stupid.
no sound, just.
Yeah, for real.
It's like defies time.
Yeah.
Like, it just
I don't get
time travels. It just the way they move. It's 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds for a 4-door sedan.
Stupid.
Bonkers.
So stupid.
And wait until he comes out with that little one.
I'm excited.
That little
The 2-door?
The 2-door.
Yeah.
The Roadster. That thing's gonna be 1.5, 1.7, 0 to
get it.
60.
Jeez.
And it's going to handle because all the weight's going to be at the bottom because that's where the weight of the batteries is.
Jesus.
So it's like a beautiful center of gravity. Those cars have a phenomenal center of gravity.
Yeah. I'm hoping I don't get my license suspended.
Are you worried?
No, I feel like if I am, I'll just fucking sell all my cars, get a Sprinter van, and hire my dad to drive me around full time. So I'm not too worried about it. But I'd rather not.
How many tickets do you have?
I've only got a couple, but two
Is it
in
from
like,
how many are from the Lamborghini?
none.
Really?
0 from the Lambo, 0 from I got the new Corvette, none from that. It's always in the Tesla. Always in the fucking Tesla. Going on the highway going too fast.
It's just too easy to
I'm like,
cruise in those.
I just don't feel like that's too fast. Like it's just not. It's like a good speed. 90's okay.
It isn't that thing.
I think for certain people, not for an old grandma, but I'm fucking alert. I'm watching.
You're a pro athlete.
Yeah,
You're a
I should be able to go
world champion.
90. I'm gonna see what I can do about that. Talk to the Sugar State Athletic Commission.
Why do they even make cars that go so fast where it's illegal to drive?
Because it's
anyway?
kind of like they have to do it. Why are they making computers? Unless you're doing what Jamie does or you're doing video editing or something like that or playing like insane computer games. Why do you need that much processing power? But every year the new one comes out. You want the new thing.
Yeah.
And when people look at 0 to 60 numbers, that's like a thing they all look at. What is it? Yay, the new BMW M5s. They do 0 to 60 in 3.2. Are you really going 0 to 60 that fast? Like, what are you, fucking psycho?
Didn't they have a new electric Lucid or some shit that's faster than the 1.9?
I don't believe so. I don't believe the Lucid is faster, but there is a supercar that is faster than that. It's an electric $2 million supercar that somebody makes that's fucking insane.
Jesus. The new electric Ferraris look
The
so
fastest
sick.
thing that I've ever been in by far, though, is John Hennessy's Venom. John Hennessy, do you know who he is? He's this psychotic Texas tuner guy who takes, like, I have a Ram. I fucking love it. I have a Ram TRX. Even a stock Ram TRX is the best truck I've ever driven. They're fucking great. It's comfortable. It's got a very compliant suspension, and it's crazy off-road capable. I mean, those things you can Baja race in those motherfuckers.
Jesus.
And he takes that and he makes it 1,000 horsepower. It comes from the factory. It's 700, 7-something, and he cranks it up to 1,000. So it's a giant Ram truck that goes 0 to 60 in like 3.5 seconds. It's
What's the Venom?
nuts. The Venom is his supercar. It's all carbon fiber, and it's 2,000 horsepower or something.
That's what it's
Fucking
just called a
bonkers.
Venom?
Yeah, dude.
What the
It's
fuck?
what's the 0 to 60, Jamie?
that
Scroll
thing's
back up.
Sweet.
So it goes 250 miles an hour. It costs $2.5 million.
That's what his looked like that you went in?
Yeah, he brought it here.
Jesus.
You look at it and you just go, oh my God.
Do they make any other cars, or they're just
Oh,
like...
he makes a bunch of shit, but this is a totally made in factory car.
Oh,
what he
okay,
does
okay.
with most stuff is tunes them. This thing is so insane.
I think it's beautiful.
And he took me for a ride in it. I was terrified.
Faster than the Plaids?
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah, a lot faster.
Is it electric?
No.
Gas.
And it
Damn.
sounds like a demon.
That thing's fucking sexy.
It's so sexy. Well, you've seen it in real
Jesus.
life. It's incredible. It's incredible. So it's just like, Jesus Christ. That's the fastest thing I've ever been in.
Yeah.
That thing's nuts. I mean, it's literally like a race car.
You think about treating yourself to one?
Yeah, that's dangerous.
I don't know. If I want to go fast, I'll take the Plaid. And if I want to have fun, I'll take a muscle car. I like muscle cars.
The Rumble.
Something about the sound. I never was a sound guy either, but I do like the sound of it. Like,
Bro, I'll let you drive one of mine. One of the real ones. It's like got a fully independent suspension.
See this guy driving it on the Autobahn?
The Tesla.
Fucking top speed goes
No
so
way.
fast. He's going.
That's
he goes-
miles
That's
per
all,
hour?
no, that's
Oh,
kilometers.
okay.
Yeah, but still.
I was like, Jesus.
But what's 260 kilometers
I
or whatever
think he
the
got
hell
it
it
up
was
to top speeds over 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, they're fast
Holy
as fuck, man.
fucking
It's just how
Christ.
fast it gets to 60 that's so bonkers.
Yeah. Yeah, I fucking love stepping on that. My little princess too. She when she's in the back and I step on a little bit, she goes, ah! She loves it. She's faster.
I taught my 15-year-old how to drive in that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
With it on ludicrous mode.
It's always on ludicrous
Yeah,
mode. I
mine
never
is
take it
too.
off. But I taught her how to drive in that. It's easy to control. That's the difference between that and like other high power cars. You can drive in that very slowly, easily. It's
Yeah.
not hard to do. It's like the perfect car to drive
Yeah.
around. Like for a commuter car, it's the best car ever.
I take it more than anything.
Yeah,
I love that car.
I'm always taking that. Or I take the Ram.
It's weird when you drive the Teslas too with the regenerative braking, then getting a different car. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Right.
it is weird.
Right. You're used to just
Forget.
driving with one pedal.
Yeah.
You know, letting it slow itself down.
Or if you're on cruise control in a different car and you forget that it doesn't slow down when you get behind someone,
Yeah.
you fucking almost hit them.
when you hit that
Yeah.
doop doop and it's like stays in the lanes
Oh,
and
that's
drives
so
around.
nice. I need to use it fucking more because apparently.
So how many tickets have you gotten?
Just like 2 within the last couple months, but this motherfucker got 3 within like, or no, that last one you didn't get a ticket because the cop knew you, but this motherfucker was just in the same position I was in. You got to go to court and everything too. I got to
What do you
go
drive, Tim?
Just the Model 3.
Tesla,
It's
yeah.
fast as fuck too.
Fucking love
Yeah.
it. I love it.
That's a great car for the value.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Hard to beat.
I was at a red light and I was in my GT3 RS, which sounds fucking insane. And this Model 3 just went shoo,
yeah.
took off ahead of me. I was like, I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah.
You motherfucker! Silently.
Yeah.
In this kind of an economy car.
Yeah. Yeah, for the price, those things are fucking
Incredible.
perfect.
Incredible. Yeah, and if you have
Plug
a
it
charger
in.
at your house, it's the shit.
Cars. Yeah.
Yeah, you just plug it in at your house. You never have to go to a gas station. You know those sketchy moments where you're coming home and it's 1 o'clock in the morning and you're on E, like, fuck, I want to get gas.
Yep.
But I don't want to fucking pull into some weird station and get carjacked.
Yep.
Right.
You know?
Fuck. Yeah, you see too many videos.
I mean, especially in a busy city, the Hov lane when you can just click that self drive and it
Yeah.
sit back,
that's nice.
have a jack.
just
sucks.
Yeah, you ever seen people falling asleep in those things in traffic? They're asleep in the car.
Yeah.
And the car's
That's
just,
fucking terrifying. I couldn't do that.
yeah.
But those motherfuckers probably worked for 10 hours.
Yeah. There's a lot of Silicon Valley people that are just on their last edge.
Last fucking. Yeah. Ran out of Adderalls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We still haven't been to a Buc-ee's. We keep hearing about Buc-ee's.
Oh, I talked about it last
yeah,
night.
yeah.
You gotta go.
Yeah.
We went to HEB thinking it's Buc-ee's. And we're like,
No.
oh,
No,
HEB's
you-
going to be sweet.
Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna be a Buc-ee's. I knew the difference, but you keep hearing about HEB. I kept hearing on Kill Tony. They talk about it. I'm like, I gotta go. We go, and I'm like, what the fuck?
We thought it was
It's
like a
just a
Whole
grocery
Foods.
store.
We thought it was like a Whole Foods.
We thought it was gonna be like a nice organic Whole Foods or some shit.
No.
Yeah,
you
we
gotta
had-
go to Whole Foods. There's a
Right.
place called
Fuck.
Central Market that's actually better than Whole Foods.
Really?
Central Market's great. It's like an advanced
Local or?
Whole Foods. Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
But it's also like an advanced Whole Foods. It's like Whole Foods, but even better. It's great. That place is great out here. But HEB is just a good, nice supermarket. But
Well, I think
Buc-ee's-
we went to a
Buc-ee's is
dirtier
an
one,
experience, man. You can buy tents at Buc-ee's.
Yeah, we need to
Fishing
hit a Buc-ee's.
equipment, fucking Buc-ee's is nuts. It's so big. Like you're talking about like hundreds of pumps. You
Oh,
sit there you're like,
shit.
what is going on? It's like a parking lot filled with pumps.
That's badass.
Yeah, it makes sense. Your bit when you said what.
It's just Texas.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You usually do Instacart or you go shopping? Where's your wife?
What do you mean?
Like when you get groceries and stuff?
What's Instacart?
Instacart's like a new app. You can just go to whatever store, click it in your thing, and they'll deliver it right to your door.
Nah, go shopping.
Yeah.
Just push a fucking cart around. Say hi to people.
Yeah. yeah.
It's not bad.
Is it constantly pictures, or do people
It's
kind of
okay.
leave it a little bit alone?
Mostly they leave me alone. People out here
Just
are
like
cool,
hi,
man.
like
They're friendly.
Yeah.
It's not like it doesn't feel douchey. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's like they're just folks.
Yeah.
shopping.
Fans too. Listen to the
Yeah.
pod.
Some of
say
them are
what's
cool.
up.
And most people are just nice. They come over, hey, I like your show.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's nice. No
Yeah.
big deal.
Yeah, that is nice. That's how I feel like it is out kind of in Arizona where we're at out there.
But
It's
one
not
thing
too
does
bad.
happen to people, and it's going to happen to you too, is like as you get more and more famous, sometimes people get anxiety about social circumstances just because you don't want to get bothered.
Yeah,
You know
I
what-
felt that before.
Yeah.
Where I was like, God, just like I want to go take a pee. I'm at a restaurant. But I'm like, I don't really want to walk past people and then go in the bathroom and someone's
Right.
in there and like, oh, I just wanna
Especially
sit
you,
here.
because you're so identifiable.
Oh, it's,
That's
yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Which
I'm
is
trying to
great.
go, and then I try to go like incognito, and I have like I have like a Suga hat with a Suga shirt and Suga shorts. I'm like, that didn't work. My hair's
you know
fucking
better.
pink.
All your cars are like flashy.
I know.
colors.
I fucking
Yeah.
yeah.
What? Come on, man. You're a star.
Yeah.
That's how you got to do it. Hey, how did you pick that song that you came out to? Because it was the perfect song.
I picked it. It's funny. I listened to that song for a long time. But I played it in Abu Dhabi. I knew it wouldn't be a banger in Abu Dhabi because it's just different cultural. The pay-per-view, I knew it wasn't going to be too good. But for me, I was like, this is my moment. I'm going to walk out to it. I actually walked out to it too when I fought Jose Quinones. So after I broke my foot, when I came back, I walked out to it in Vegas at T-Mobile. Then I went away from it for a little bit, but I knew that was going to fucking just...
You got a song in mind for the rematch with Cheeto?
I don't. I do have a different song in mind, but I also might stick with Superstar.
It's a good one, man.
Yeah.
It's a good one. And there's a thing that happens with certain fighters where when they play a song, people get used to it.
Yeah,
You
Jose
know, like when
Aldo.
Uriah Faber used
Yeah.
to come out to... Oh, yeah, Jose Aldo.
Chris
Yeah,
Weidman, Chris Weidman, Chael even.
Yep.
Chael.
Yeah, there's a thing with fighters with a song. With Anderson Silva, ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
Oh, he walked out of that. He did.
Dum,
I didn't know
dum.
that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
When John Jones comes out, the champ is here.
Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum. The champ
That's
is
a
here.
good one.
Matt Hughes'
Yeah,
song.
Country Boy Can't Survive.
Right, that's
That
good.
was the greatest one. That was the greatest one. Because at the time, you know, when Matt was the fucking man, and he would come out to that song, woo.
Yeah, it was pimp.
Yeah.
It's such a great opening line, too. The preacher man says it's the end of time.
Yeah, the walkouts, being there and that being at a UFC fight, there's just something about those walkouts, dude.
Yeah.
That moment, everyone's just looking right at that tunnel waiting. But it's so weird because it's the most calm I ever am in my life is in that moment before we walk.
Really?
Even in the back, but I'm just calm. And you know what's really cool is the documentary crew was following me around this last fight. UFC's putting out a really, really cool documentary next year. And they were following me around, but they had all the access in the back. And but yeah, I just fucking feel so calm.
You think that's from the meditation?
I think it's definitely I've learned how to get into that state of mind, but I also know that that's just where I perform the best at. Like I'm very calm.
Do you ever feel yourself getting like hyped up or ramped up, and then you just go slow down?
No.
Calm. It's all calm.
Just calm. The whole fight week, I feel very calm. Fight day, I feel very calm. And then just warming up in the back, I feel very calm. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, I just, fuck, I don't know. It's weird. You go into, I have a conversation with myself to where I kind of, with my breath, I'm going to say, all right, I'm just going to let my higher self take over. All the work was put in. I'm going to just surrender to this moment, let the higher self take over.
Beautiful.
And I feel like I've kind of, I don't want to say mastered that because, you know, I feel like there's always work to do, but I feel like I've been able to do it pretty much every single UFC fight. I've been able to go in there and just flow. Whatever happens, happens. I completely accept that even if I go out there and lose, that my life is still good. You know, I still have my princess, still have my family, still got my friends. Life's okay. And I feel like I accept that 100%. I also haven't had to deal with a loss, or a loss that's, you know, so we'll see if it ever happens. But
That's why it's always impressive with people like Bisping after Hendo knocked him out to come back and become the champion.
Oh, yeah. And to do it with one eye.
that's insane.
The guy fought 10 fights, including winning the world title with one eye.
That was one of my favorite moments in the UFC because I didn't watch the UFC very too far back, but one of the coolest moments was when Bisping knocked out Rockhold.
It was incredible.
It was fucking insane.
It just shows you this sport, you can't take anything for granted.
Fucking left.
You can't take anybody for granted. You can't be overconfident.
Nope.
You can't sleep on people. Anything can happen.
Luke was the
Anything.
definition of overconfident going into that fight, I feel like. Just
Oh, yeah.
his fucking demeanor and his just like
Everything. Yeah, I mean, and you know, justifiably so.
Yeah.
He just smoked Chris Weidman, looked like the fucking man. Everybody's like, Jesus Christ, this guy's a stone cold killer.
Smoked Bisping after a full fight camp. Now he's fighting him on 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That whole
Remember he hit him
story.
with that question mark kick? Ooh, and then guillotined him.
Oh, yeah. That was
Luke
bad.
Rockhold's a fucking savage,
Yeah.
man. He was a fucking savage.
And then Mike Perry all pieced him like that, and their bare knuckle. That was crazy. I was excited for that. That was exciting.
Mike Perry's just uniquely qualified to
Bulldog.
fight in that shit.
He's built for that.
He's designed for it.
Any
right?
kind of fighting, that motherfucker's.
Yeah.
I mean, even his grappling was underrated. He could
Yeah.
fucking grapple.
He's strong as shit, and he's so game. And like mindset is such an important quality, and his mindset is a Rottweiler.
Yeah.
He's just
Just a savage.
just let's go.
What I remember bare knuckle kind of got blew up a little bit for a second, but I haven't heard anything. Have they not had another big event yet?
They're gonna have look, Jorge Masvidal's doing bare knuckle MMA.
Yeah.
Which is I like that a lot. It's interesting. Have you ever thought about doing that?
I would never.
Never.
No.
No.
I like fucking that little bit of padding I got for that, baby. I feel like I got pretty strong hands though, like pretty big hands, strong hands. But I'd rather not.
They'll break.
Yeah, I'd rather not.
I mean, I think what they're doing with the wrap too is odd. Like you wrap the hand up and the wrist up, but you leave the knuckles. Like one of the vulnerabilities of the hand is not just the fact that the hands are brittle, but the fact that when you punch something, like your hand is not really designed to. You have to really be good at hitting just
Accurate,
like
too.
that,
And the right way.
And if this happens, like I fucked my wrist up once when I was young when I didn't tape it right, and I hit someone with a body shot, and I caught their elbow and twisted my wrist back. My wrist was fucked up for like a year after that. It's
You
just-
blew your bicep out throwing a body shot like that. Boom. I watched his.
Oh, it's
I was
separated?
I was filming. He was sparring. He had a fight coming up. I was filming his rounds, and he threw a body shot in this guy, and it fucking watched his bicep go up through his arm. It was
Sounds
so
like a T-shirt.
gross.
Did you get it reattached?
Yeah.
That's
Both
good.
of them,
Yeah, both.
Oh, both of them went out.
Both.
and
of
his
them.
brothers. It's like
Wow.
a crazy
That's
gene.
That's weird. Yeah.
It is weird.
Yeah.
Matt Serra did that and never got it fixed. And so when he makes one bicep,
Oh,
it's like in the middle of it, it like pops up. It's like he's missing the front part of the bicep, like up to here.
That dude's a
And then
character.
Oh, he's so funny.
That fucker is funny.
He's
the
so
man.
funny.
I like watching him on certain things. He's a fucking.
He's great on
wild man.
podcasts.
Yeah.
We did this podcast with my friend John Rollo, Dean Thomas, and him. It was amazing. It's like he's so funny, man.
His stories and just his energy and his
character.
Yeah, he's a funny
He's the
motherfucker.
classic New York funny Italian
Yep.
guy.
Yep.
You know,
Hell yeah.
and an amazing jiu-jitsu guy. God damn, was he good when he was young.
Really.
Matt Serra was the fucking man. I mean, he's a world championship caliber, like as elite as anybody.
Did he do gi too, or just no gi?
Gi and no gi. He
Gi
did
and no gi?
everything. Yeah, he's a fucking assassin, like a super high level black belt.
Well, it's good. I mean, that's where Aljo, those guys train out of, right? Fucking under him.
Yeah, that whole Henzo Gracie lineage is one of the greatest lineages in jiu-jitsu. I mean, think about who came from there. The John Donaher, Gordon Ryan, all those guys. They all came
Damn.
out of that
Yeah.
one camp. Gary Tonin, you know, even Craig Jones. Craig Jones came over the. It's like so many elite guys came out of that one camp.
I wonder what Crone's gonna do. I wonder if he's like, fucking, I'm done. It's done.
That last fight was a bummer.
That was crazy. We were there live, and it was just, yeah. That Charles Jourdain, though, I mean, that was
He's good.
he had a good game plan, good fucking execution.
Yeah.
I wonder if that Kron's just so like stuck in his ways a little bit, because we were going to visit Montana. I hit him up to maybe get some training in with him for Sugar and I. Didn't hit us back. They say he just stays in the mountains, just trains when he feels like it, and it looked like that.
Gotta be
Yeah.
crazy. Those guys are your family, though. It's like how much pressure's on you to be great.
But it's also in this world of today, just jiu-jitsu is not enough. It might be enough, like if you catch Alex Caceres like he did, you know, and
Yeah.
you get his back. And I mean, if Crone gets on you,
Yeah, you're fucked.
You're fucked. I mean, it's jiu-jitsu at the highest
But he's got to get on
level.
top.
Yeah.
Because he
yeah,
was
to the
he was
back.
on his bottom
Yeah.
against Charles, and Charles did a good job keeping his hips squared. And
Charles is a real black belt as well.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Is like Charles is very high level on the ground, and he's so skillful.
he just
standing
subbed
up.
Ricardo Lamos, didn't he? I didn't see that. I heard that though. That's fucking impressive.
Yeah, he's legit. He's super. Charles Jourdain's super legit, super technical, very well rounded.
That's
can do
exciting
everything.
for 45
Yeah.
division.
In this day and age, too, just like it's gonna be hard to just be dangerous off your back and the guard. Everyone's just so fucking good at jiu-jitsu now. There's so many world champions you can find and feel them. So to have a good guard, I mean,
The scariest guy off his back today in the UFC is Paul Craig.
Yeah.
Paul Craig catches people with triangles with like 1 second to go. Magomedov, he caught him like 1 second to go in the fight he was losing.
Charles Oliveira, too, he gets that overhook and
yeah.
starts fucking butchering
Oh,
him.
Oliveira's nasty.
I'm
everywhere.
excited for that.
That's very interesting, right?
October, Abu Dhabi, Charles Islam 2, Paulo versus Hamzat.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be sick.
that
I wish it
is-
wasn't. I mean, if it was here, I'd go. But fucking Abu Dhabi has a flight.
That's a long-ass flight.
But I would love to see Charles fucking win. That would make for a huge trilogy.
It would be.
Maybe call Habib out. No, there's no shot.
That's
Habib's-
not. That's not gonna
Habib,
happen.
yeah.
But it's like you kind of see vulnerability in Islam after that fight with Volkanovski. First of all, you see how good Volkanovski really is.
Pound for pound.
Fucking
#1.
animal.
Yeah.
He's number 1 pound for
100%.
pound. You have to say, like, they have him not listed as pound for pound because he lost that fight. I think you can make a real argument that he won that fight.
On top, in the end
Yeah.
of the 5th, pounding on him. It's hard not to. I mean,
I think he won the fight. In my mind, he won the fight. I think he did more damage. I think he
Yeah.
imposed his skill set. It's also insanely impressive that he goes up from 45 to fight a massive 55. A guy who's as big at 55 as anybody is. And, you know, at the end of the fight, he's on top, beating him up. He drops him, gets on
Yeah.
top of him. I mean, and had massive moments throughout the fight. But it sort of at least gives an air of vulnerability to Islam, where before that,
Yeah.
most people were like, this guy's unstoppable.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
Charles gotta seen some confidence from that, or get some.
But then again, Islam just smushed him when he got on top of him.
I mean, he didn't even just, most people walk into a Charles's full guard. He forced the half guard right away. Pinched his knees, forced the half guard. Like, what a good ass idea.
But
by
he
them.
also rocked him, dropped him, boom. Maybe
Yep,
Charles wasn't.
that too.
You know.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, there's a lot of factors. But looking at Charles versus Benil Dariush, he's like, he's back.
That was sick.
He's such an interesting case, right? Because at one point in time, like the Cub Swanson fight, and a couple of his other fights, people are like, well, Charles just doesn't have it. Like whatever it
Breaks.
is, he just falls apart. And then he has a kid. He has a daughter.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, man.
I can see that.
And then
Well, he
all
went
of a
up to
sudden-
55 too, right?
That too.
That's got to be.
Yeah, that too. The 45 was real bad on him. It was real bad on him. It was just rough. But he did 55 before. I think he did 55 in the initial fights in the UFC.
Then
But against Efrain Escudero, I think that was 55. But he was just too dehydrated and fucked up to fight at 45, and for whatever reason, just didn't have it together mentally.
yeah.
And then boom, all of a sudden, he's the fucking man.
Yeah, it's almost just so cool seeing those guys with a lot of losses become the fucking man.
Yeah.
Jorge when he did.
Yeah.
That was fucking sweet. He came on the scene with those knockouts.
It is kind of crazy when you see a guy who's like gone, like to a point where you're kind of starting to write him off, and then all of a sudden becomes like there was a moment where people like Oliveira might be the best pound for pound fighter on earth.
Yeah. After Gaethje.
Yeah, man. I mean, that was incredible. To do that to Gaethje?
Yeah. Gaethje versus Islam's very interesting too, though.
Yeah, it is.
That's a
yeah.
fucking
Gaethje's a monster
coming
on
off
the
that
feet,
KO
man. Yeah.
or win. That was fucking wild.
He's a monster on the feet, and he's a serious wrestler.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot going on with that.
When he beat Faziev, I was like, holy shit.
Yes.
And he beat him at Faziev's game.
Yep.
That was
Yep.
impressive as fuck.
I wouldn't be surprised if Gaethje fucked up Islam or knocked him out. I wouldn't be that surprised. I'd be like,
You know what? Islam's got very underrated striking. That motherfucker is skilled on the feet. He is very technical. Throws
He's
very
skilled
good-
everywhere.
Yeah, he's underrated on the feet for
Oh
sure.
my God, his top pressure is next level.
Yeah,
His top pressure is just smushes people.
yeah.
everyone says he's just freakishly strong.
Well, he's so big. I mean, what does he weigh before he cuts to 55? He's got to be in the 190s.
God
Yeah.
damn, you think?
Yeah.
I've never seen him in person.
He's big, dude.
Big
He's got a
fucker.
big back. He's thick.
Colby called him out, right?
Yeah.
That's a sick fight.
Colby
Fuck yeah.
versus Leon will be sweet too, but Colby
Colby
versus
can make
Islam will be fun.
55.
He could for sure.
Yeah, he's not a big 70 at all.
Damn, that would be that would be crazy if he wins the belt at 170 and he's the first guy to go. Well, I guess Henry tried to go to TJ,
Yeah.
but go down to 55 and fight. Because
Yeah.
Islam probably is bigger than Colby.
Probably.
Or around the same size.
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
It would be
Has
crazy.
he ever fought at 55 in the UFC?
No. No, he hasn't.
So that would be interesting to see how
Yeah.
a cut goes.
But, you know, you got to get past Leon. That's no fucking picnic. That guy's so... And after he beat Usman the second fight, he realized his
That
takedown
confidence
defense is
went up.
impressing, is more impressive, and his striking is as good as anybody in the
Yeah.
sport.
Yeah.
That fucking
He's slick.
head kick was so nasty.
Pound for pound headshot, dead. That was so cold. I was like,
So cold.
Southpaw and southpaw too, and Colby seems to
Colby.
do good against southpaws.
Mm.
He takes him down fucking pretty easy.
yeah, punch, takedown, punch.
Yeah, the thing about Leon is you can't zig when you should have zagged.
Yeah.
You know, he'll find your chin.
Yeah, he's accurate. He's a good striker.
He's got that championship level confidence now. Wins the title by the most spectacular headshot, like one of the most spectacular head kicks in the sport. To win a title in a fight you're losing against Kamaru Usman, who is the nightmare, right? And he's winning, and you just crack
in the 5th round in Utah elevation.
Yep.
5th round.
Walk off KO.
So crazy. And
So
John
crazy.
Anik fucking.
And that he called it. John Anik was the greatest call in sports history.
Yeah, that was wild.
That is not the cloth from which he is cut. Dude, whack. Boom. Like, what?
Yeah. And then Kamaru. You know what? One thing I think Kamaru fucked up was talking about how bad his knees are. I remember he said that on the pod because I never knew, but then he brought it up when he was doing the pod with you, saying he has to walk backwards downstairs. He has to walk in the grass sometimes. Just talking about. I think if you're a fighter and you got some real injuries, keep that shit under wrap, because if you're fighting someone and I know they're fucked up somewhere or something, it gives you a little edge, maybe not, but I feel like he fucked up.
It definitely gives you a target.
Yeah, you definitely know something's going on. If you see him wince when something moves, like, oh, this guy's knees are fucked. Yeah, and you definitely could kick the back of his legs and try to jar all that shit. It's already inflamed and sore.
Yeah, but who knows? The motherfucker ran the shit for a while.
He ran the shit for a while.
Do you see Tyron Woodley say he'll come back only if he can fuck up Izzy? I like Tyron Woodley, but I mean, Izzy's just a fucking sniper.
Don't you think that is probably like when guys are it's kind of over and they're trying to find something to get him a little bit. Yeah.
And then maybe they weren't allowed like some extra TRT, some sauce, and then they get on it, and then they're like, I'm fucking back, baby.
Yeah, probably, honestly.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, he was always naturally genetically gifted. I mean, as a natural athlete, he looked fucking insane.
Yeah.
You know? Remember when he knocked out Robbie Lawler? Oh, my God.
That was crazy. Yeah.
Tyron, crazy. The Jay Heron fight might have been one of his most impressives. That was like one of his first big KOs in the UFC. You ever see that fight? Pull up Tyron Woodley, Jay Heron. He hit him with like this just leaping forward like blitz punch and cracked him and then put him away. He was a monster, man. Tyron Woodley has some serious power.
It's crazy how you can just see someone dominate, and then it's next guy. Now it's Kamaru dominating. Now it's Leon Champ.
Am I thinking of Josh Koscheck?
Oh,
That's
maybe
what
that.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
of. You know,
then he hit him while he was going down. Doosh.
Maybe he knocked out Jay Heron too. He did. Yeah, let's see the Jay Heron fight first. Yeah, Tyron was a monster.
Fuck yeah.
It's just even more impressive what Izzy was doing for as long as he was doing it. And Alexander Volkanovski's fight, defend. Oh, I haven't seen this.
So look how jacked he is, and this is like completely boom. I mean, look at the speed.
Like a sprint.
Boom, 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 boom. And this is Tyron at his most vicious. Most vicious in the beginning of his career.
A fucking NFL running back.
Yeah, no, he was phenomenal. He was phenomenal in his prime.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Listen, boys, we just did like 4 hours.
No way.
Yeah, it's close to it. It's 5 o'clock already.
Jesus.
Crazy.
Hell yeah.
That went
Fun
fast.
times. I know.
That was crazy. That's that smelling salts.
Listen, man, congratulations on everything. It's been amazing. And to have you guys on 5 years ago when you're kind of just plotting this out.
Fuck yeah.
To coming back on as the champ with one of the most amazing championship-winning performances in the history of the sport. It's fucking awesome, man. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, thanks for having us on. Thanks for doing what you do, because I fucking enjoy the podcast just as a fan. It's fucking amazing. So, yeah, thank you for having us back on.
My pleasure.
Thanks
Thank
a
you
ton,
guys.
bro.
Thank
Fuck
you.
yeah.
All right. Bye, everybody.